Let's do this. Let's do this. It's time to do this.
Are we live?
We are live.
All right.
Ooh. Time for some spooky to book spooks. I hope you like your spooks spooky. What am I
Guys,
talking
it's October. Is everyone excited that it's October?
Oh, you should be.
I think it might be my favorite month.
Oh my gosh.
I really do believe that. Because it's when at least in Texas, when the weather finally doesn't suck.
Yeah. I'm just putting on some more, I don't know where.
Is this Halloween appropriate music?
It is. All right. Hey guys. You're holding yourself so back on going. Well, it's October 7th. Gosh, it really is.
Go in. Go all in.
Yeah, rock and roll. Why not, right?
We've decorated our home.
You have?
We've put some, some webbing, some cobwebs.
Oh, have you?
A couple of eyeballs in a bowl are now on the dining room table.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Are they like chocolate foil with
no,
chocolate
they're just
inside?
like rubber ones that when you squeeze them, they feel like eyeballs. And we've got a
Screw the peeled grapes.
got a ghost on the door. It's nice.
Hey, Disable. Yeah, dude. Welcome to Filmography, my friend. I think.
Oh, cool.
You caught an interesting one because so we've been doing the new Hollywood movement. And this kind of actually fits right in, which is a really nice, really nice dovetailing, really nice bridge, a really nice piggybacking. Really, shoot me an email. All the corporate. Let's just start.
You want to CC?
Yeah.
You want to CC somebody?
Hey guys, welcome. If you don't know, Jeff Ray, he's a filmmaker. He's a dear friend. High five.
You were gonna. Oh, you went for the hug.
I was gonna do. Yeah.
I was like, don't get personal on camera.
No, that's
and
good. We're good. No, we're all personal here. So I'll do the.
We're not wearing pants right now, by the way.
That's true. So I'll just give you the awkward. There we go. I bet as long as you watch the episode, it's definitely more familiar than anything else you've done so far. Well, rock and roll.
Yeah.
Wait, what's Jeff's last name? Is that okay to say? We've said it a lot. He's somebody you tag on Twitter, even though he hasn't used his page since 2017. Is that accurate?
That's probably very true. I don't tweet. I don't Twitter too much.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I lurk.
No, that's good.
Like I get info from Twitter and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of people do a lot of dumb stuff on there, and then you're like, oh, I should probably go on Twitter and check that out.
Is this cool? I feel like this is unobtrusive enough. I don't even. What is this even? I don't know what I'm doing. Want to look up his filmography? Do it. Go to Jeff Ray or JeffRayShootsYou.com or go to IMDb, which is the Internet Movie Database.com, and look up Jeff Jeff Ray RAY.
You know what? My IMDb doesn't have a lot of stuff on it.
Oh, don't go there.
So I don't go there.
But he's done a lot of stuff, and he's done a lot of really.
I do
good
a lot
stuff.
of music videos and stuff like that. That's why my IMDb isn't like as chock full as this guy's.
Look. Yeah, you don't want to see some of those that have it. Anyway, thank you. Sub. All lawyers. Scription. Na. Well,
yeah, I'm also a lawyer.
Yeah. Well, did we not mention it?
I moonlight as a
By night. Well, ask him if they want to invest in a film. Those Jeff Rays.
Or ask if they need a commercial where they get in a tank, like a Brian Long car commercial.
Totally not shouting. Thank you for those 19 months of unbelievable support. I'm an adult, and I make noises when I show numbers with my hands. Thank you, not shouting. How are you, my friend? Then I do also list music-related stuff. Yeah. Jeff Ray is the men and women's golf head coach. Oh my gosh, I list it. The Exorcist here spooked her much when she was younger. Yeah, when did she watch it? That's horrifying. Thank you, the Reese Polaris Templar. Y'all had to watch this movie alone. You had to watch this movie alone. Just live alone in neighborhoods making loud bangs. It was not a good time. Loud bangs.
That sounds like the best time. That's the greatest way to watch it. I watched it alone too because my girlfriend wouldn't watch it with me.
Subscription. Yeah, Kasha was like, I'm not gonna do it. Subscription. Thank you. Crap, dude. Jeff Raisen directed The Ember Days. Yes.
Which features this guy. He's in that.
Lobre Gold.
Oh yes, that Ember Days. Yes, I forgot the name of the band.
Right.
I thought Ember Days was the Pillow Fight one. Sorry.
That's a whole other thing.
It's a whole other thing. It's a whole other thing. The Pillow Fight video.
My third job.
Ice machine off because it scared you. Yeah, because it was going, your mother sucked. I think there's something wrong with this ice machine. It's going, Demi, why you do this to me, Demi? Demi, why you such a bad guy?
You got any extra change for an altar boy, father?
Hey, father, I'm a Catholic
I'm a
over here.
Catholic.
Thank you, crap. Yeah, I saw it the first time when you were 12, and it was horrifying. Yeah, I betcha. The special effects makeup and vomit has such a quality texture to it. Yes.
Yeah, pea soup, baby.
Sure does. Say it. Your mother does that one thing in that one place where you don't want to be doing that one thing.
And that scene is still terrifying. Honestly, the most terrifying part was to go, Blackbird! Blackbird!
There are parts of that movie. Look, honestly, we'll get into this, and that movie is super effective, right?
It's,
But there are parts of that movie where she does something, and I laugh.
Really?
Well, when she goes, yeah, there are a couple things where I just go, bah! Like, it's just like a
It is so...
There are 2 times.
It gives me so many... Because it's one of my favorite movies of all time. Like, one of my... It's like a top 2. Like, it is...
I really want to talk to you about that.
And I hadn't watched it in like a year, and I watched it again, and it is like... I think it's a really powerful movie.
It is.
I really do.
It is. Oh, it does have Heath Allen. Heath Allen is also in that video. That's right. That's Kelsey Prabilski. We can say her last name, right? I'll just allow myself. She's been on the stream before. I don't know if you guys remember. It was Jeff, Kelsey, my wife Akasha, Heath, and myself were playing Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes that one time. Just that one time. We're gone.
I don't even remember how that game went.
It's the bomb thing where you're like reading the manual. Yeah.
Oh, that was fun.
The whole bit at the beginning. Oh yeah, I didn't. I was like,
in Iraq?
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna watch this time, and I'm gonna get out of it what I'm supposed to get out of it. And I was like, I got the same amount out of it. Like,
oh, it's so great.
Okay, all right. Wait, he did direct Where the Red Fox Lies. This guy is an incredibly talented filmmaker.
Thanks,
and one of my best friends in the entire world. Yeah. And he's great. And you should, I don't know, watch his stuff and, I don't know, get people to give him money to make more stuff.
Yeah, give me money. It's great. Yeah. Just give me some money, guys. Jeez.
He was in Predators, yes. He was like a stand-in for Walton Goggins.
No shit.
Yeah, and if you...
I can actually see that.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, like you go, oh, okay. Huh. Gotcha. Yeah. Was really good. Oh, good. He said that. I think MM7's talking about Where the Red Fox Lies. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Still don't get the connection. I mean, I get it. I definitely, I get it, but I don't know. There are some things that I do have. Did we watch the original release of the director's cut? I watched the original release. The reason I know is that there was no spider walk in it. But there was a scene that I was like, I didn't remember that.
Honestly, the director's cut isn't that different.
Sure.
Aside from the spider walk.
Sure.
And I think a dream sequence. And that's about it. Was there a dream sequence in yours?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's in there too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so maybe it's just the spider walk and maybe a couple extra frames here or there on other stuff.
There's not a third cut, right?
No.
As far as it's just
there's the original and then the re-release.
Yeah.
And that's when I saw it that's when I first saw it in theaters. That was the first time I watched it when I was like 13.
There's the shot where she is like not backlit but frontlit. But it's her back is turned and she's on the bed and there's the stone.
Oh, that's not in the original cut?
That is in the original cut. And I didn't remember it at all. I was like, and it's been, granted it's been a while since I've seen it, but like most everything I was like, okay. And then I saw that and I was like, I don't remember that shot, but maybe.
Yeah.
Spiderwalk is terrifying looking. I want to see the director's cut sort of just because I don't know where the Spiderwalk goes. Like, when does she leave the room?
It's great. It's like, it's so... it's weird to me that they didn't put it in the first place.
This isn't Blade Runner. Yeah, good call. Sorry.
Because it happens right after the guy comes in to tell her that Burke Dennings has died.
Uh-huh.
Then he leaves. They close the front door. And
she's
traumatized. And she's just like... and then you just see her face like she's trying to process his death, and
Oh!
she looks up, and then she goes,
Oh!
and then it cuts to it and it goes,
Oh!
Blood falls out of her mouth, and
That's
that's it.
terrifying.
It's so creepy.
Gosh,
I want to know why, because that's one thing I actually don't know is why it was cut in the first place. Maybe because it is terrifying, and I wonder if like
sorry, Mike. Sorry.
If it was cut because it was too scary. I don't know.
The reason they didn't want to reuse it because it's slightly too freaky, ramped up the spook too fast. See, like,
and I could understand that.
Gosh,
maybe.
that would be the moment.
Like, I could understand if they're like, maybe this is building it up to be too like too much too soon.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to remember if this is before or after the crucifix scene, and by that point you're just like, well, it's getting weird.
Yeah. That's true, MM7. Absolutely. They had like 4 air conditioners going. It was like below 30 degrees.
Yeah.
It said that like at one point, people's sweat was freezing, and then at one point there was enough moisture in the air before the crew got there that it actually snowed.
Oh, really?
And I was like, what?
Wow.
What are you talking about?
Because
create an ecosystem where it snowed inside the set? That's insane.
Because that's weird. Because they left it on all night.
I think that's Emily Rose, or maybe that's in the director's cut. I don't remember. Sorry, go ahead. Is there a scene where she's eating bugs in the corner?
No.
That Emily Rose, I dug that movie. I was like, this is good.
I haven't seen that one. Maybe I should.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they left it on all night, and it was 30 below.
Oh, 30 below?
30 below.
That's insanity.
when they arrived to set. Then they had to turn them off, wait like an hour or two, so it would just get to 0 degrees or a little above 0, so they could
shooting weather.
So they could get the crew in, and then by the time the crew was done, it was like at freezing, and then they would start filming.
That's so insane. But I was watching it, like, I know, because there's so much to be said, and we will get there. Maybe we're there already. I don't know about Friedkin's famously like physically manipulative, but also psychologically manipulative directing tactics. But I'm sitting there watching Max von Sydow, and and he's talking to her, and it's just like, and his breath is, and I was like, dude, as an actor, I'd be like, yeah, crank that crap down.
Oh, I would absolutely.
I would love that,
and it is.
I
amazing.
would love it because it's just so. I mean, because he's an unbelievable actor, but also it's like, you're just there. It's just happening.
It is so amazing to me that he's only in the movie for about 20 minutes.
Gosh dang it! Really?
And he leaves such an impact.
So great.
And like, there's a moment where like once the ceiling starts to crack, and he's like, and it's after he gets knocked down, and then he gets back up, and he's real quiet, and he's like,
yes, and you just
he's like walking towards her, and I
so
swear
powerful,
to you guys, like I'm just a total wiener, but like I got teary-eyed at how powerful his acting was in that moment.
No, he's amazing.
And then the sacrifice of Father Karras at the end when he's like, "Come into me," and you see it in his eyes that he gets possessed, and this is a brilliant piece of editing.
It is. I same thing. That jump cut.
It's the jump cut, but you see him. It possesses him, and then you see him like push it down, and it disappears, and that like his humanity won out in that moment, and so it was he chose to jump out the window, and that really got me too.
Oh yeah, me too.
And it always gets me.
Me too.
And that's why I love this movie. Is like, it is terrifying, but it is very moving at the same time.
It really is. I cried this time, a couple times at the end. One of the rumors the set was cursed. Yes, like 9 people lost their lives.
Oh my god.
Lots of
I knew that, like 2 people, 9 people.
That's what it said. Wait. Yeah, 9 people died.
So I've been reading Friedkin's
maybe
biography.
it was only 2 and there was 9 injuries.
Conveniently left all that out.
Yeah, of course. Lots of accidents on set and
9 people, like.
Let's look that up.
That seems like a lot.
Because it said, because basically what was great is that I was like, what was awesome is that I was watching it on Amazon, which owns Twitch, and is great. Really, but I mean, it is great. I love Amazon. I'm not gonna lie. But it had like these facts that when you paused it would tell you facts about.
Oh, that's really cool.
And I was like, oh, this is great. And I thought it said 9 people died, but maybe it was 9 people were injured.
I think it's got to be injured.
Yeah, 9 people dying is like a lot.
I don't know if I heard of anyone dying outright.
There are at least 2.
What?
At the very least 2. Yeah.
In what way?
I don't know. We're
throwing out a lot of accusations,
I know.
bud.
Will someone look up deaths on the Exorcist set and confirm what is it that happened to 9 people? I thought it was 9 deaths, which is crazy.
I mean, there's no way.
Yeah.
Because that would be like the first thing you would hear about.
Right,
that movie,
absolutely.
Is that 9 people died in the making
That's
of
really
this.
crazy. But 2 people. But
two horses died on the show Luck, that HBO series, and they shut down the whole series for forever. So if 9 people died
on the show Luck is what it's called. Yeah.
It was a Michael Mann. It was starring Dustin Hoffman.
But I mean, like, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, I get it.
Sorry.
It was not lucky.
Yeah.
But it was David Milch from Deadwood.
Oh wow.
And like it was his passion project. Anyways.
Goodness. And they shut it down and it never came back.
9 It says Ellen Bernstein claimed that
9 people died. Yeah, that's what I read.
Wow.
That's insane. That's like a very small natural disaster.
But that's, I mean, that is next level. But I mean, it falls completely in line with everything that I've heard. That like everybody, even as they were working on it, they were like, "Oh, this is an absolutely cursed production in every sense of the word."
Yeah, and it said that Friedkin got the technical advisor, wanted a priest, right?
Mm-hmm.
He wanted the priest to come and he wanted him to come to set and actually exorcise the set.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, "No, that's going to make everyone freak out more." So he came to set and like gave a blessing and then gave a talk, and then 9 people.
Because how do you exercise a set?
I don't know.
Like what are you walking up to one of the lights?
Yeah.
And like,
are you the one? Are you the
one causing all this trouble?
Yeah, and it's really sad because one of them is the mother, right? She passed away. Now I think she passed away just during production. It wasn't like as a result. Like tales about ominous events surrounding the year, like the deaths of 9 people started the production and mysterious fires. So actors Jack McGowan and Vasiliki Malraux died before the film was released. So I mean, it might be like they died after production.
Sounds like they're tagging them on.
With production.
Yeah.
Relatives of the people working on the movie. Okay, yeah, all right.
During a screening of the film in Rome, a storm surged around the theater as the audience fled inside or filed inside. Shortly thereafter, a giant 400-year-old cross on top of a nearby church was struck by lightning, causing it to fall to the plaza below. I heard about that. That's in Friedkin's biography. Yeah. I mean, there's just a lot of weird stuff like that. Like the fact that their whole set burned to the ground.
Yeah, right.
Like it just seemed like the forces were against them.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I definitely didn't think. I didn't think people died. Well, I don't know. Yeah, on set would be insane. 9 people on set is just like you have to shut this.
You
down.
got to.
There's
it's
no
cursed.
way. Yeah, like
I want to know what to do. Yeah.
One of the hospital techs was found out to be a serial killer. What is happening?
What do you mean hospital tech? Like
probably one of the extras in the hospital scene. Where
the mom is?
Those
are real people.
Where they bring in Reagan to do the angiogram. Maybe is that it, or the hospital scene where where Damien's mother is.
Madeline, I got to see Twister one time, and we walked outside, and there were clouds super low to the ground.
Oh my
and it had that feel, like that calm before the storm feeling. Awesome. It was the coolest thing.
The X-ray technician was found to have killed 6 people.
Oh my god!
Wait, is that?
Because I know.
Are those the other 6? Did they get factored into the 9?
Oh,
no. Probably not.
Oh, I'm gonna have to do a deep dive on that afterwards because I know what scene you're talking about and I know what actor you're talking about. And if you're telling me that he's a serial killer, I buy it because he looks like one.
Wow.
He's got those 70s like almost tinted glasses with
the guy with the glasses who's doing. Oh my gosh. Oh, the X-ray tech. So it's afterward where he goes into the room and he's doing it. Not the surgeon, or not the. I don't think so. That's all for one given movie. Yes, the given movie, The Exorcist. I used to watch Twister. Had used to watch Twister while we were under a tornado warning in high school. Why that though? That I.
Do your Bill Paxton.
Is that?
Do it.
You never. Wait, if I have to do my terrible hell. Well, it's not even a Helen Hunt. She goes, "You never seen it. Miss this house and miss that house and come after you." And I have to just kind of, you have to like really close your eyes and kind of blink. And he goes, "Geez, Joe, is that what you think it did? It's a tornado. You can't predict it. You can't resist it. Come on, Joe.
It's really good.
Thank you.
Isn't it weird? It does not feel like Bill Paxton is gone.
No, gosh darn it.
Isn't that weird?
I didn't even realize
Yeah.
what you were saying until halfway through that sentence, and I was like, oh, dang it.
Yeah, he's gone.
Had misfortune. She did, the voice actress, Mercedes McCambridge. McCambridge?
Dyer was played by a real priest, and even before...
What? Scorp? Sorry.
Yeah. What did Scorp say?
Unfortunately, he's saying the voice of the demon, Mercedes McCambridge. Unfortunately, her son murdered her family and then turned the gun on himself.
Are you serious?
This just seems like... No, that doesn't seem related to the... That just is awful. That's really... Yeah, Dyer is a real priest. Yeah, his name's O'Malley.
And even before he took the part, he was like... Friedkin gave Dyer the script, and he was like, what do you think about this, accuracy-wise? And he was like, it's pretty... He was like, everything's pretty good. The character that Dyer ends up playing, he was like, he seems pretty cliche. And so Friedkin was like, got it. Well, then you play him and then just make it not that.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's actually a brilliant way of handling that.
It is. Friedkin, man, he kind of
Friedkin is a psychotic human being, but I think he might be, I was telling him before this that I think he's slowly becoming my favorite director of all time. Like, with hands down.
Zia, man, thank you for the follow. Yeah, I dig it. I mean, I'm on. Friedkin is a guy who I want to see more. I want to see more of his filmography. So far, I've seen Sorcerer, Exorcist, French Connection, and Blue Chips.
I'm so excited.
I love Blue Chips.
Blue Chips is on Amazon Prime. It's just sitting in my queue, staring at me.
That's great. I've seen more Friedkin. I can't.
Is Blue Chips? Because this guy loves. And maybe this is why I like him. He loves his dour filmmaking. Like he likes to explore the bad side of humanity. Is Blue Chips?
Blue Chips is about corruption in the college basketball system.
Cool. So it's right.
But it's great.
In line. Yeah.
It's not gritty, but it's It's really good.
He
that's
loves
like my favorite sport.
He loves basketball.
Yeah, I love it.
Loves basketball.
I love it. It's so weird. She died of natural causes. You want another serial killer? Look up Paul Bateson. My goodness.
This is wild.
Yeah, this is really crazy.
And I think this is one of the reasons why I like the... Well, okay, that's going to sound weird. But why I like The Exorcist so much is, like, from the opening 10 seconds, you're just like, there is a mystique and a feeling about this movie that feels different from any other horror movie I've ever seen.
Oh, that's interesting.
It has, like... There is a presence about it. I don't know. But it's just unsettling from the word go.
Huh. I think it's any other stuff. What do you say? We watched French Connection, Exorcist, To Live and Die in L.A., Bug, I don't know, Killer Joe. What are his other... Oh, Sorcerer, obviously, sorry.
Killer Joe is probably his most recent one that did well.
Yeah.
And it kind of started the whole Matthew McConaughey, as it's called.
Yes.
It kind of put him on the map and started that whole 2 years where he was really hot.
That's interesting, Mug Monster. Second-rate Stravinsky's still pretty good though. I read something that said, a lot of the stuff was just. Oh, maybe this was in an article, but it said the original, like Lalo Schifrin, like legendary composer, definitely legendary TV composer. Just a ton of I think he. Gosh, maybe the original Mission Impossible theme, like just a ton of great stuff. Man from U.N.C.L.E., all sorts of stuff. He was one of the original, like he was up for scoring it, and he scored the thing. And Friedkin was watching he was watching it with the score, and Schifrin and his wife were there. And he hated it so much that he pulled the reels off. Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he pulled the reels off and threw him into the street.
In
front of his wife and him. I mean, it's just like, goodness gracious, man.
And then he went and then he flew across.
It does start like Indiana Jones.
He flew across the ocean to Europe, where he met with Bernard Herrmann, the legendary Bernard Herrmann. Like, probably if
John Williams studied under,
and this is Hitchcock's composer.
Absolutely.
He did the music for Taxi Driver. This guy is the composer that all composers looked up to. And Friedkin meets with him, and he's like, I'll do the picture. He was like, leave the movie and I'll have you a score in like a month and a half. And like that's just what you do with Bernard Herrmann because he's Bernard Herrmann.
Right.
And Friedkin was like, well, don't you want to hear my notes on what I want? And he was like, why would I want your notes? And so he was just like,
who are
cool.
you?
Very. He got up, he shook his hand, and he was like, this was a very interesting meeting. And then he turned around and he left and he insulted Bernard Herrmann.
Friedkin and Kubrick were the Amazon of directors. In what way? Like Amazon, like the company, or Amazon the. Oh, you're talking about in their treatment of their actors? Is that what you're saying? Not Amazon, the giant river. I think just how foreign and confusing the opening of The Exorcist really sets the unsettling figure. So,
oh, it's beautiful. Do you want to dig into the opening?
Sure. I remember we were talking about things we were watching Jackie the other night. Jackie.
Oh, with Natalie Portman.
Yeah. That is a movie I did not.
Oh, I loved it.
So did I. That was the last movie in the world I expected to love. Like Akash was like, I want to watch that. I was like, all right. And I was like it felt like Rosemary's Baby, that movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is not what I expected.
It's very unsettling.
So great.
And it just kind of followed her around.
Yes.
It kind of almost had like a glacial pacing to it, but it was beautiful.
Scription! Pork chop, thank you for those 9 months of unbelievable support. Unfortunately, we're doing kind of not protracted, the opposite. I can't think of the word. But we're cutting it short. Shorter some alerts. Thank you, Pork Chop, for those 9 months of unbelievable support. Lots and lots of love. Thank you so much. Appreciate it so much. Oh, here we go. Oh, Fire Skull, good gravy. What's up, man? We're doing you're the best baby babble time, or baby would name it silent after the first place I watched. Oh, it is Babby time. 9 months. Thank you. Truncated is the word I was looking for. Thank you so much. Thank you, Polaris. Fire Skull, thank you so much, my friend. Lots of love. The subscription. The ending of Rosemary's Baby is the weirdest thing in the world. It's so off-putting and strange. It's just so strange. Thank you so much, Fire Skull. Thank you for those 9 months of unbelievable support. 2 Twitch babbies. Hey, check this out. We got this. We've also
You're the
got.
best, my dude.
One more time.
The first place I watched.
Asylum Skull.
God, isn't that just a beautiful image, though?
Yeah, it is really.
Like they spent a whole night and a whole day making this one image to light the whole street, because the taxi pulls up, turns around, and then he gets out. The shot lasts all of 10 seconds. And and this is one of the things I love about Friedkin is his editing is really like he won't linger on shots if you think you're supposed to.
Yeah.
So he didn't even let this shot linger.
Yeah.
Like this moment right here is the last frame of this shot when the taxi clears, because he cuts right after it. And it's one of those things that he does throughout the whole movie where
there are things that he cuts away from.
He doesn't let moments linger, and he did it in French Connection and in Sorcerer, and I'm like, I'm gonna start doing that because it's very effective.
Yeah, and there was I can't remember what it was, but there was one moment in particular that made me go, dang, he cut away from that quickly. He didn't even let that.
Yeah.
But and I can't even remember what it was. It was.
And he uses it with sound effects, like, so you get this slant, like when he cuts to when he sees the homeless guy in the subway, like just the way he cuts into that scene is like, it's going from what, I think he's over at his mother's house or something, and it's very quiet, and he gets away with it because it's not considered a jump scare, so therefore it's not cheap, but he just uses it to throw you off balance as a viewer, because he'll go from a very, very quiet scene to a very, very loud moment to bring you into the next scene, or vice versa to get you out of a scene. And it's just it'll throw you off kilter. And so the whole time you're watching this movie, you're just kind of like, vomit.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, and that's the thing is that like, I've noticed that he did it here, but I've also noticed that like that's a very interesting sort of like having a very chaotic sort of crazy like scene that has a lot of ramifications for the people in it. Yeah. And then just kind of going, the action ends, cut. And you're just like, whoa. And you're just like, just move to the next thing, and it's like a just sort of.
And
like
you're still thinking about that
Exactly.
moment as you're moving into the next scene. He's very brilliant at doing that.
Yeah, Mud Monster. Well, there's a moment where she's like turning over and going and it cuts back to the white kind of red-eyed like face over black when she turns over in bed and it yeah. It's not like a massive jump scare. No, and it's not. Yeah, it's not a jump scare. It is, but it is.
Yeah,
sort
it's
of
not
just like
cheap. It's all constructed. It's the way he's constructing scenes
Sure.
and getting in and out of scenes. It's not cheap. It's actually artistic, and that's what's so cool about it. By the way, that homeless guy that's in the subway, who plays the homeless guy, he was a real alcoholic that Friedkin knew somehow. And he was like, and he had one of his assistants or his producers keep him drunk for like a week. And he was like, because he was known to kind of like wander off. He was like, keep him in that bar, keep him filled with booze. When we're ready for him, bring him over.
Good, great.
They spent a whole 12-hour day getting that guy to get that one shot of him going,
my God.
I'm a Catholic father. Like it took him 12 hours to get that shot, but he liked him because he thought he looked like a real alcoholic and he had a good look.
It's very interesting.
It's true because you remember that scene.
I don't know. I wonder. Scription, thank you so much, Score, for that gifted sub to Soy Katiz. Soy, welcome back to the pack. No, to the Lowbro Court. Yeah, it did work.
Boom, boom. Boom.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Scorp. Goodness gracious. Lots of love, dude. That is so interesting in his because I mean obviously that happens now, but I don't know how frequent Friedkin how frequent that was back then. I don't know if that's something
How frequent what was?
Just actually casting like a real police officer.
But I feel like that's what Friedkin did. He came from a documentary background and he would always cast people that he was like, no, you look like the part.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let you do it.
Yeah.
And he always seemed to get really good results doing that.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Even if he has to slap him in the face.
Yeah.
So just to kind of here. Let's do the old
This one should be pretty easy to
hop into.
Well, to at least summarize.
Yeah. We'll just look up what IMDb says about it, and then we can. The Exorcist. What we've got here is it says, when a teenage girl is possessed by a mysterious entity, her mother seeks the help of two priests to save her daughter. I mean, she sought the help of one priest.
And
then yeah, whatever. But boy, yeah. So that's it. Basically, what we have, right, is we have basically we open, right, on this scene in
let's dig into the opening scene
near Nineveh, which is a biblically significant site. I can't exactly remember why, because I'm not the best Catholic, but it is. Nineveh.
I have no idea, because I'm not religious.
And but so there's a dig. It's an archaeological dig. It does seem like Indiana Jones. It's specifically something about that opening felt Spielbergy to me, the way it was shot.
It's because it was that tracking shot of the archaeological dig is so close. And I remember this is made in 73, 72. So when
that kid
I want to bet that Spielberg
it,
saw that and was like, I'm gonna do a tracking shot to outdo that one.
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee that he saw that and was like, I'm gonna outdo that. Because it was.
Description. Oh, thank you. Subs.
Thanks, Score.
Subscription. Thank you for those 19 months of unbelievable support, dude. Goodness gracious, that means a lot. Fallout. Possibly one day. Thank you for that resub, dude. That means so much. Oh, heck. Thank you for those kind words, my friend. I would read them, but I think this robot lady's gonna read them.
19 months. PogChamp, damn. Thanks for being the consistently amazing human you are. Also Jeff for being there. I dedicate this sub to a Fallout playthrough. Anyone will do, though New Vegas is preferable.
So Nineveh, wait.
Oh, thank you so much, Scorb, and for those 2 kind words. Thank you, my friend.
And then Nineveh is the city of God where Jonah,
He told
God
him to destroy,
told
and then
Jonah
Jonah
he
ran away and
destroy,
got
and
eaten by
then
the
Jonah,
whale.
okay.
Okay. I think I hear it mentioned. I've heard it mentioned a lot, but almost kind of incidentally, and they were halfway to Nineveh, and this happened.
Right.
What's the current movie up for discussion? The Exorcist.
Boom.
Paragon
just
Distributing
getting into it.
Divine. Oh goodness gracious. That's not what he was saying. Yes. Anyway, so the thing. Anyway, so they're
They're in northern Iraq.
Yeah.
They're near Nineveh.
And I just love that shot of the kid running through kind of the maze of the
and
arcade.
the ending between,
yes, on side,
revealing
that
side
just seemed
out,
it seemed very Spielbergy to me. I don't know.
But frankly,
But
it was
pre-Spielberg,
it was
obviously.
very Friedkin.
It is very Friedkin, absolutely. So,
But okay, so what do you, so I mean, it's almost like a prologue, because I mean,
Yes.
it's not just one scene. It's
It
like
is,
an
yeah.
opening 10, I think it's 10 minutes long, something like that.
It is, yeah.
And it follows Max von, is it Sydow? Sydow?
I think it's either I say Sydow,
Okay,
which
Sydow.
I
So
think
we'll go
it's
Sydow.
I think it's Sydow actually. I don't know.
We'll
Can
go with
someone-
Sydow.
Anyway.
But so we're following this character. He's on an archaeological dig. He's a priest. He's an older guy, and he comes across in his archaeological dig this little miniature figurine
That he breaks the face off of.
that I think he just breaks it out of the dirt.
Okay.
So
'Cause
and
that's
then
a
he kinda-
rock? Okay,
yeah,
okay.
and then he cleans it off, and he sees that, and his face drops immediately.
Yeah.
Like he knows what this
Right,
statue
exactly.
represents, and it's the statue of Pazuzu,
Sydow.
who is a devilish demon who works for the devil, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, and they never mention the name, but
They never mention the name, right? But that is the name. And so he sees this, and it traumatizes him.
Sydow? Well, that's a third option that I hadn't considered. Anyway, yeah, and he freaks him out, and he just learned the rain puddle between. Yeah, it is. Yeah, we'll say that it's a purposeful animated rain puddle right between us. It's not the green screen screwing up. But yeah, and he's like, it's this thing, and he goes back, and he's kind of shaky, and he takes the pills.
Takes his pills, and yeah, and and like honestly, it's really about setting up the mood, because like, you know, he's in the market taking his pills, and they just keep cutting away to all these random strangers, like just people who are living in this city, and everyone looks
menacing,
weird or menacing, or like one person's half blind. He almost gets run over by like a carriage.
Yeah.
Like, it's all these little things that are completely, like, normal, but it's all built up to be this really unsettling thing. And then he goes and visits his priest friend. And as he's sitting there talking with him, the clock in the background stops, which is so unsettling.
Yeah. Thank you, LyXE. Thank you for the follow. Yes, indeed.
But basically, he goes out into the middle of the wood, like the desert, and he sees a bigger statue of Pazuzu, and then he decides to leave, and that's kind of where.
And that was the one part where I was like. So he goes. I have something. He's like, I have something I need to do, and he goes up to find that statue, and he looks at it, and then it cuts out.
And then it cuts to Georgetown.
Right.
We like cross dissolve.
And I'm kind of like, what was the thing? Did he just need to go look at that statue? Did that statue exist? Did it show up? It was there, I think.
I think it was there.
So do I.
I think maybe. I always thought it was like.
Yes, sorry.
Is he going to like. Confirm that the statue. I don't know.
Oh, that it's the same.
It's the same thing, or
Okay.
that he's trying to have a moment, or is it? Whatever the reason is, it always just works for. Like, I don't know.
Sure.
You're right. If you really try to pinpoint why he's going up there.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's
maybe just have a moment of like, I'm about to, because he knows whatever he's gonna have to do. Because it's like he goes back to the States and he's just waiting. Because he knows he's gonna have to do an exorcism. I think that's what he takes.
Really, because they unearthed that thing.
Because when they when they deliver him the letter later in the film, and he's walking in the woods, and it's that amazing wide shot where they just deliver it to him, and they see him read it, and then he just kind of pauses, and then he continues to walk away. It's like he knew. He was like, "That's what I've been waiting for."
Interesting. Yeah, I did. I did. Yeah, I'm on board with that. I've not seen The Exorcist 2. I've seen a bit of Exorcist 3, and that bit was terrifying.
Oh, really?
It was scary.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Maybe I should watch that.
William Peter Blatty directed it.
Oh.
Yeah, and John Boorman did the second one. John Boorman was offered Exorcist 1, and he was like, "No, I don't want to do it because I feel like it involves cruelty to children." But then
he's like
sidled up to the second one.
Well, it's probably after he did Zardos, so he was like, "Oh boy, I need a commercial hit." And then he did Exorcist 2: The Heretic,
yeah.
and it was terrible.
I've not seen it, but
so that's the one I saw, and I was like, "Cool, not gonna watch any more of these sequels."
Did you ever see any like the weirdest thing? Didn't Paul Schrader do? Well, there were two that were released. Was it like a Rennie Harlan and Paul Schrader made two movies from the same footage?
Yes,
that's insane.
It's insane.
That's an insane thing that happened.
It's an insane thing to do, and
I can't believe that happened. I remember being in high school, I think, when that happened, or at some point, and just kind of going like, "Oh, weird." That's absurd.
It's absurd. And I think Rennie Harlan went back and reshot stuff.
Yeah.
But like
added stuff.
But he used a lot of the original.
I don't even understand how that works.
So Paul Schrader, Madeline,
Taxi Driver.
Yeah, Paul Schrader, writer of Taxi Driver,
director of Autofocus,
Raging Bull, First Reform that just came out.
Writer of Raging Bull.
He delivered a movie, this Exorcist movie, that was way more spiritual and slow paced, and frankly, a lot like the opening of the original Exorcist in the whole Iraq sequence.
That's
it's a lot more like that.
That's what it was. They wanted it more. This is they went to Rennie Harlan. Sorry, I love Long Kiss Goodnight.
I know, but they were like, no, we want
Rennie Harlan.
We were like,
Die Hard 2.
They were like, we were expecting a Rennie Harlan movie, so we're gonna go get Rennie Harlan.
Yeah, that's insane. I mean, like again, Rennie Harlan. I'm on board. Like I dig him. Dude knows how to direct action. I even like Cutthroat Island. All right. I like it's good. It's fine. It's fun.
That's the general reaction to Cutthroat Island, by the way.
Like
it's a clipped. It's like it's good.
I liked it. I enjoyed it.
He knows how to shoot action. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So like people have argued before that like the whole Iraq sequence that opens the film, there's like even people when they showed the first cut, they were like, this movie is amazing. Why on earth are you opening it with 10 minutes in Iraq that has nothing to do with the main plot? Mm-hmm. And they were like, cut that out and you'll have a perfect film.
No,
and Friedkin always was like, I understand what you're saying, and also this is essential and integral to setting up the tone of the film.
And I agree.
He's right.
Sub. I mean, it establishes the idea that this is an ancient evil. Like this is an element, I mean, it's Otherwise, it's just no, the TV's haunted.
Yeah.
Which doesn't happen.
It sets up a sense of foreboding that permeates the entire film, and a lot of that has to do with how good not only the cinematography and the editing, and because the editing and just how they use all the faces and everything, it's so well done, but his performance is so integral to that entire thing working.
Totally.
Because you see it the moment he sees that statue, you see his face, and he's just I mean, he's changed, and he's like, things are about to get bad.
Yeah. Mug Monster, welcome back to the Lobo Core. Thank you so much, Score, for another gifted sub. My goodness gracious, my friend. Lots and lots of love.
But you know what the weirdest thing was?
When the girl's head turned around.
Okay. I didn't know who Max von Sydow was until much later.
Yeah.
And so when I first saw this movie, and honestly on subsequent viewings, I thought that he was like 65, 70 years old. Yeah. And only later on did I find out he was like 38 when he made the film, or maybe 40.
And made up amazingly.
Amazing. He looks how he looks in Shutter Island.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like 40 years later.
It really
it's
is.
Crazy.
It's so interesting, and it's what a cool. I don't know, like
It's brilliant
Yeah,
makeup.
it's amazing.
It's and the whole makeup across the board, because her makeup when she becomes possessed is so good.
yeah.
And honestly,
What became
like I believe that her performance, I really do believe that she deserved.
Yeah.
I mean awards or whatever, but like
12,
I mean
my
she was
goodness.
12 and she
the
delivered
stuff that
and
she does.
it's an insanely brave performance
Yeah, no
for her,
kidding.
and she did it beautifully. But I also think that like I agree when people are like, well, it was one part because like the voice of Mercedes McCambridge and then the makeup, it all added up to this haunting portrayal of a possessed person.
But it's amazing. But I mean, if you think about her at the beginning, and obviously she has a ton of makeup, but like whatever, like so do many other actors who've been nominated for Oscars.
Oh yeah.
And it's so telling. It's so I don't know. I guess it's just telling that at the end when she comes out and she's fresh faced, I'm still like I'm like and like and I think she's I think I may be misremembering, but I think she's like many other child actors, she was like, that role kind of ruined me for a lot of movies.
Sure.
Kind of ruined my career, but also gave me a career. And I'm like, in that case, I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
It's distracting to have Linda Blair as a kid in your movie, in your TV show or anything, because you're just like,
I did that thing with a cross, and that was weird.
My physical sense memory is being terrified of you.
Yeah, right.
Because good gravy.
Yeah.
Because
it's like what makes her performance so beautiful is like it is a lot of the stuff, like the subtle facial movements that she does, and like her reactions when she's just strapped down.
Yeah.
And like I know she's got makeup and contacts in, but that doesn't change the fact that like
that's fine.
When he goes in and Father Max von Sydow, he's dead at that point.
Yeah.
And she's gotten out of her straps clearly, and she's like huddled at the opposite end of the bed, like all tied up like that, and she's just looking at
that's the scariest thing in the world.
And she's just looking at her like
that's so terrifying.
It's terrifying.
And it's so weird, and it's so hard to pinpoint why. It's just this like, this is gonna sound like she's just like, and it's this like
and she's
weird,
like wide-eyed,
and she's just kind of like it's almost like this what now look.
Yeah, she's like,
but it's like this weird vacant. Not vacant. There's definitely a presence there, and it's like a dumb look. Like that sounds weird. But she's just like, and she's like, what's going on? And it's just not at all the look I expected to see. And she's
like a dog who killed something. Finally, like got a hold of that squirrel, killed it, and then was just like, I don't know what to do, but I'm out of breath.
And then yes, exactly. She's just like. Well, and the thing is, like, it is kind of like a light series, but there is somebody home. That's the thing, is that there's someone in there, and I'm like, what is going on? That is not a look I've seen from this being, from this whatever.
And then they cut away.
And she's just like it's almost like she's like, what now? What have I've done this? Now what? And it's weird.
Then he checks his pulse, and he
then looks back at her,
and she's like,
it's the scary.
And she's giggling. She's just like this. She's like,
because I go, that's the scariest face I've ever seen. Cuts back, cuts away, cuts back, and I go, no,
yes!
that's the scariest thing. Because she's like,
yeah.
Oh my
dude.
gosh, it's insane. It hurts to hear that name pronounced like that. What? Sydow? Give me a second. Give me 1 second. Stay here with that for 1 second.
Sure.
Be right back. I need to do one thing.
All right, let's say it right now. Is it Sydow or is it Sydow? So we'll just get it cleared off. Sydow. Oh, Sido. Got you. Sido. Guys, are we going with Sydow? Sydow. All right, I'm going with Madeline. Madeline's usually right, so we're just going to say Sydow. Hold on, I'm scrolling up. Yeah, isn't it weird how he looks the exact same in in this movie, and then 40 years later, like I don't know if you guys have seen Minority Report, but that was the first time where I really put it together that I'm like, oh, he's from this, but wait a minute, he hasn't aged a single day. And then I didn't realize that he's also worked with Ingmar Bergman a bunch. And I actually just saw my first Ingmar Bergman film the other night, which is the most pretentious thing that I can possibly say. But it was a movie called Persona, and I thought it was going to be a real art freak show. And it kind of was, but it was also really good. Yeah, Majority Report, right. Yeah. And Marvel movies. You guys like Marvel movies, right? Me too. I love them. So I had only seen that. That's the only Ingmar Bergman film. I tried to watch another one of his called Wild Strawberries, and I fell asleep. And I was just like, maybe this guy just is not for me. Because he seems to make art films that are really arty, which, I mean, you know, I like art films. But I don't like when they're so overtly artistic that it makes me fall asleep within the first 15 minutes.
Hey, sorry.
Sorry, now I'm talking about Ingmar Bergman.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's another Side Owl.
Seven Seal. Oh, that's where we're talking.
That's another. Okay, so that's another one that I had seen that I
Seven
fell
Seal,
asleep.
yeah.
Like I was saying how I saw Persona for the first time.
That's the one I want to see.
And it's great.
Yeah.
It's honestly great.
Yeah.
But I'd seen Wild Strawberries, or at least the first 30 minutes of it, and I fell asleep. And I was like, boy, I don't know if I'm a Bergman guy. Like,
yeah.
It sounds like and then I had
get it.
seen part of Seventh Seal, and I was like, I don't know if he's for me.
Yeah. I got you.
Nosferatu is a great movie. That's just one I like to keep on, because you can find that on like Amazon Prime, and you can just stream it. Since it's a silent film, I just like to keep it on in the background. Have you ever seen it?
Nosferatu? No.
It's good.
No, I have not.
It's creepy. There's some really creepy shots in there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's Madeline earlier said, sorry, I missed it and then saw it. She said she was applying so much sympathy chapstick while she was looking at Reagan, because her lips are so dry. It's a good movie. Drink a pot of coffee. Try again. Yeah, fair point. So anyway, we get this whole thing. They unearth a thing. Then we cut to Georgetown, and the long and short of it is, we get introduced to Chris McNeil, played by Ellen Burstyn, of The Last Picture Show, who's JC's mother in The Last Picture Show. And
later Requiem for a Dream.
Requiem for a Dream, right? Where she's the tough heroin dealer who they go to. No, I'm just kidding.
So Madeline did point this out. She plays an actress, and then we never talk about it again.
They had the whole thing at the beginning.
So they do have the whole thing at the beginning, and
the reason,
Well, go for it.
No.
Yeah. Well, I'll just say this, because it's something I've noted, because I watched Sorcerer, which is another Friedkin film. I watched that last night just because I wanted to.
Yeah. And
I have noticed that he is brilliant at conveying entire characters and setting them up completely within one scene. And he does that repeatedly. Like with Father Karras and his mother, one scene and you're like, I'm in for that relationship. Yeah, exactly. Like within one scene of him going to visit her, and you understand the rapport, how there's a little bit of disconnect because he wants her to leave, but she wants to stay, but she's injured. By the way, when he's wrapping her leg, her acting in that moment is so wonderful, because she's just like this. She's just like,
going, yeah.
You know, it felt very real.
Yeah.
But I've noticed over the course of these three films, watching them very close together, that he is very good at that. He can set up an entire character and their backstory, or enough for you to care about them within one scene.
And I feel like French Connection definitely did that.
Yeah.
It made me feel for whatever his name is, the guy they disparagingly, racistly called Frog Number One. It made me care about that guy in that scene with his girlfriend. I mean, it's just like, when he's out on the terrace and she's like, I bought you a coat. I'm not sure if this here or somewhere else I talked about those. That was really shitty. Oh, is that a bad documentary? Interesting. What's the documentary about?
Oh, I heard about that.
Father Amorth?
Because you know Friedkin was here last month to premiere that documentary, and then he did a screening of The Exorcist.
Oh, it's a recent documentary?
Yeah.
Oh, weird. Interesting.
So it's not good. What's it even about, Scorp?
And yeah, and just while I think, he follows a real. Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, is it the 19? Is it that one based off? That's what The Exorcist is based off of, which is like that one that happened in 1949, which apparently
In Maryland.
and apparently he had. Friedkin had audio from that exorcism sent to him, and he spliced it in with Mercedes McCambridge's
That's
audio.
crazy. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Unrelated, says Scorp. Interesting.
Huh.
Well, so it comes in a couple other times. I mean, you're right. There is not necessarily a reason. There's not a reason for her to be an actress, and it sort of is odd because you're going like, well, why are you gonna introduce something that is going to sort of. Because when you have a movie about making movies, or whenever, for me, it's whenever the protagonist is a writer. I'm like, oh, a little bit.
Right.
But it's like, she can obviously afford all the doctors and stuff. Yeah.
And they do
it's
make
the reason they're in Washington. There's not really a reason except that it was.
Well, it's a temporary house she's in.
Yeah, exactly.
And, also Burke Dennings, technically, I mean, he's one of the victims.
He is, and
he's the director of the film.
Yes, but I mean, he is a character, and he comes over, and he's kind of he's sort of a catalyst that brings in Lee J. Cobb's character and stuff, and a whole bunch of stuff. But I mean, she could have been a stockbroker, and
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's integral to the plot.
It's not the reason, and the reason it is that, well, I mean, Blatty wrote it with Shirley MacLaine, and he based it on Shirley MacLaine. And kind of, he's senator, and they were gonna do it, and then it just fell through. I don't know if there's any reason other than that, that like the person that he based it on was actually an actress, and a famous one. I think that's really the only reason. It doesn't, and I don't think they necessarily. It comes back a little bit, like the cop is like. Can I have this
Your
autograph? And they have that moment. It's a nice character moment for both of them. It kind of brings out really brings out the cop.
And can we just, I mean...
And it's weird when they're talking about how much they like film, but it's fine. It's not weird.
Yeah.
It's not weird. It's just kind of like, oh, interesting. But go ahead. What are you say?
Well, I was just going to say that scene where he asked for the autograph when the cop, the detective, goes and visits her and they have tea. And
hey, Ed the Clown.
Throughout the course of this scene... Ellen Bernstein's character, Chris McNeil, she learns that Burke Dennings' death honestly was because of her daughter.
Right, definitely true.
And the way she plays that scene is so beautiful.
It is.
Because she's like, she realizes it and then she has to hide it. Yeah. And the way she does that in her performance is just fantastic. Mm-hmm. But on top of that, there's a great moment when she gets up from the dining room table and she's like, do you want another cup of coffee?
And he goes,
please.
And then she's
like, okay.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, exactly. It's awesome.
And it's so great.
It is.
But it's so great because, like, the second she closes the door, she just unravels because she realizes that her daughter committed murder.
Right. And what the best thing, too, is like, Lee J. Cobb, then, at the end of the movie, Lee J. Cobb's in the house, too. And then Sidow's dead. Did you guys get a consensus? Sidow?
Honestly, let's go with Max.
Little Max. Go Maxie. And then Karis jumps out the window, and they go, what? And they run in, and she's in the corner, and then she's like, well, Reagan's going to jail now. Because she's killed 3 men. Like, 2 of them in the same way.
It is weird how...
Sido, yeah. Oh. Sorry, yeah.
Oh, click on that pronunciation.
Sido. Okay. It's like sit on it. I can't.
Cool.
No. This is... I had to learn how to pronounce a
Max von Sydow.
Sido.
Cool.
Thanks.
Max von Sydow.
Thanks. But she sounds French. Is she saying it?
Max von Sydow. I wish it was just Max von Sydow looking into the camera saying, this is how you say my name. And it's the most moving YouTube video you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
So I could watch that guy do anything.
And then he just makes a chest move. Yeah.
You'll move.
That's very interesting, Scorp. So I was going to extra sound effects. That's weird. Weird.
Madeline, you failed us.
Oh, well, I don't know. Who's this Emma? I don't know who's, whatever. Emma's saying whatever. Next wants to do.
But yeah, so what's his name? Lee J. Cobbs?
Lee J. Cobb.
That's
Yeah.
the actor's name?
Yeah, he's the racist guy from
great
12
name.
Angry Men.
Oh shit. Wow, it is.
Isn't that amazing? I love him.
Great.
He's so great.
What else is he in?
I don't know.
He is a great actor.
He's been replaced twice. So like in the
Oh, I loved him in
I
this
know.
movie, and I love him in 12 Angry Men.
I love him in 12 Angry Men. 'Cause
Wow.
My father-in-law is doing a production of 12 Angry Men.
Oh wow.
Because he's an actor and he's going to do it and he's going to be the Henry Fonda. And I was like, you're being the Henry Fonda. He's like, yeah. And I was like, cool. Because apparently he's in with a theater there and they gave him a choice of who he wanted to play. I mean, or they were like, what? Basically, he said they, not in a egotistical way, but he said that they came to him and they're like, what play do we have to do to get you in again?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, 12 Angry Men. And I was like, and so obviously they let him pick who. And I was like, Henry Fonda, obviously. And I was like, or Lee J. Cobb. Lee J. Cobb is such a great. Oh God, I love everyone in that movie.
Because let me ask
so
you
many
something.
I love so many actors in that movie. Sorry.
Well, let me ask you something as an actor. Do you think it's more fun to play, the Henry Fonda more lead kind of good guy, but like with a lot of depth, like, or your Atticus Finch type role,
Yeah.
or is it more fun to play the racist juror and then try to imbue as much humanity into him as possible?
I mean, I think it depends. There's some situations in which, I mean, it depends on the script, and it depends where the character goes.
Yeah.
And it depends what the character means to the story.
I just love it when a good actor
Me too,
gets
yeah.
a villain role, and
But
they allow him
Yeah.
the job of like, yeah, he's still a dick, but
Yeah.
boy,
Oh, I love it.
he's like, I love when they explore the depths of it.
Me too.
the
I
layers
would.
of it.
I just all things being equal, I'm like, let me play something with some darkness.
Yeah.
I want to dig into that, but I like playing a good guy. But my father-in-law is playing anyway. Whatever.
I grossly misheard that as Lobro's dad as the anger of 12
men.
men.
But there's so many. This has nothing to do. But Lee J. Cobb, Martin Balsam. I love Martin Balsam. He's the kind of, not the, I want to say foreman. He's the guy who kind of, but he's also in Psycho.
yeah.
And he's Holly Golightly's agent in Breakfast at Tiffany's. I just love him so much. I love that actor. I just love his presence. Jack Warden. I love Jack Warden.
Jack Warden's great in
He's
everything.
so amazing. While he was in the production of 12 Angry Men, and it was stressful. I'm just so angry. I gotta stay angry. Dragon Shadow, thank you for the follow. In 12 Angry Men, though, honestly, the Fonda part is
That's like one of your favorite movies, right?
one of my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Sidney Lumet, and that's just like my favorite. Gosh, like my favorite. Lumet is like my favorite director.
Mm-hmm.
Dog Days, my favorite Lumet movie. But then in that same instant, I have to go. But like, how do you put anything above 12 Angry Men?
Well, it's like it's another 12 Angry Men.
But
It's another
it's
one of
Doggy.
those like, oh, just show that in film classes alongside Godfather, because like you'll learn everything you know about how to direct actors,
Mm-hmm.
shoot a scene, how over the course of a movie, how to use lenses and editing to either show claustrophobia or, because I mean he started out using. He either started using wide-angle lenses, and then
And got
over the
closer
course
and
of the
closer.
film, he started using telephoto lenses
And I think
to
he
get
started
closer.
up. Yeah,
to show the
And
claustrophobia
got
of
close.
it.
Yeah. Mentioned How the West Was Won. Henry Fonda? I've never seen How the West Was Won. Another movie to watch today. Yes, please watch 12 Angry Men. It is from like 1954, 7, 2. But it holds up. It holds up. It's a one-room thing. It's fantastic. I mean, except
It's
for one
great.
shot. It's so great.
It's a great
so
movie.
great. Oh, Lee J. Cobb. Oh, no. Awesome. Was Fonda 8 because I think that's who the dude you dated with. He's the level-headed guy. He's the guy who he's the guy who at first is like everyone's like guilty and he's like not guilty, and then what happens in that movie happens. So when Lover was in his 20s. Yep, because I'm old. Anyway, back to The Exorcist. So she's an actress. We get that established. We established that she has a good relationship, a very good relationship with her very sweet daughter. the dad is kind of away and sort of an absentee father, and just, you know, she at one point she's like, I love your dad, and I believe her, and I believe that she does love him, but he just kind of sucks. Right. Or he's out of the picture for some reason.
And how they show, and again, this is another one of those one scene setup things where you get the
62. No way. It wasn't 50s? 62? Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, when that movie was made?
12 Angry Men? I'm pretty sure it's a 50s movie. But maybe I'm wrong, but I didn't think I was, but okay. It was actually not only the only movie for you to like, it was the only one I could finish. Interesting. Huh. We'll get to that.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah. Sorry.
Can't remember.
Crap!
I know. Here we go.
57. Okay.
When she is talking onto the phone, when she's on the phone with the dad, or trying to get the dad on the phone.
Yeah.
He's like with the hotel clerk or whatever. Yeah. And it zooms / dollies back from the bedroom where she's screaming into the phone. Mm-hmm. And then it goes into Reagan's bedroom where you see her listening, like standing by the doorway, listening with this very blank expression on her face. Within that one scene, just the way, not only with what's being seen, but how he's revealing it, and then the look on her face, you're like, cool, I understand that entire family's dynamic in one shot.
Absolutely. Totally.
And that's brilliant directing. It really is.
No, I agree, Madeline, with the Ouija board thing. Yeah, you're just kind of like, but I think honestly, this is 73. This is kind of, I don't know. I mean, I think that, well, I don't know. Maybe the rise of Ouija boards was in the 60s and 70s.
I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was pretty well known by that point.
Yeah, okay.
Also, why wasn't she like, because she played it off. They were just like, oh, I guess you don't want me to play.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, it's Captain Howdy.
You're like, that thing zoomed away from you. What are you talking about?
Flew out of your hand.
Yeah. You could go, that was really weird. Wasn't that weird?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't go,
you don't want me to play.
Did you just Magneto that over to yourself? How weird. Okay. You talking about the vampire thing? Yeah. It's funny you call it a vampire, but yeah, it's this white with the, that horrifying face. You can find pictures of it online. If you just type in "Exorcist" into image search, you'll eventually find just black screen with that face on it going, eh. Yeah. And so then she starts getting, she's kind of weird things start happening. She's having a party one night. Reagan comes down and speaks to an astronaut.
Oh, yeah.
And goes,
I only picked that up. This is the first time I picked that up. And I was like, oh, he's an astronaut.
Yeah.
And right.
Which is just kind of like she's rubbing elbows. This is
she was invited to, the White House to have dinner with the president.
Yeah, they kind of do establish that she's a big deal actress.
Yeah, she's a big deal.
And she comes.
And they found that magazine cover where the two of them are on the cover.
Yeah, but which is I guess a tabloid, because Reagan's not an actress or anything. It's weird.
It was a tabloid, because she was even like, it's not even a good shot of me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's weird that there's this interesting it's in concept it's weird that she's an actress, but it doesn't end up being weird because Friedkin just plays it so really. Like you even get a snippet of this movie that she's a professor and she's trying to stop this protest from tearing down this building, and you're like, it's just whatever, okay, interesting, and then it walks up and you're like, what was that movie about? But whatever.
But honestly, the whole point of that was just to, I think, A, show what she does,
yeah.
but B, it sets up Father Karras, because the way they present that scene, it's like, yeah, you show her walking up to it, and the way they did that in that one long dolly is you show her walking from the tent all the way into the scene getting prepped. I thought that was really cool.
Very cool, yeah.
But then immediately, the second she grabs the microphone, they cut away to it, and they do that one of those zooms to Father Karras walking away, and then we start following his character, which was cool.
It is cool. No, yeah, because earlier that guy is talking to Father Dyer, who is the real priest, who was played by the real priest, O'Malley. And he's talking about something. He's like, yeah, it's something. I'm going up there, blah, blah, they're sending me up there, whatever. And Father Dyer says something like, next time you go up, take me with you. And will you click on that message deleted? See where it says message deleted in purple with the carrots? Mug monster. Yeah, click on that. Pretty sure the vampires. What happened? Oh, did you post a link or something, Mug? Sorry. Anyway, whatever. Rip your levels.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry, never mind. Okay, cool. Sorry, do what you need.
Yeah, I kind of always took Captain Howdy as being some weird, like, you know what I always thought Captain Howdy was? It was
Red Rum
guy.
Yeah.
What was he called? Timmy? No. Tony.
Yeah.
Tony from The Shining.
Same thing. What a weird name for it's Tony.
It's like it was a filler name, and they're like, we'll come back, we'll come up with a good name later, and then they didn't.
even Timmy is like, oh, like is this weird? But Tony is just like
I feel like Tony is like you gotta say Tony.
Yeah. And he's like, hey, Red Rum, you know what I'm saying? Oh
yeah.
Oh, Red Rum. Oh, tell your mom. Boom. Red Rum got E.T.'s finger about casually.
Yeah. That's it.
Oh, yeah. Captain Howdy seems some weird after-school cartoon. It does sound like that, yeah. But I think all it's meant to be is that she gives him a name because it's like an imaginary friend that she can hear kind of talking.
Yeah.
Which at 12 years old, I feel like she'd be like, Mom, something's wrong with me.
Well, I don't think she's aware. Okay, let's talk about this. I think she's possessed from the very first time we see her. I really do. And I think it just starts to manifest itself because it manifests itself pretty quickly. But I think the moment where, because like, well, yeah, it even makes sense because like we go into the Georgetown, we zoom in on the house, and then the first scene is her going into the attic to check out the...
Right. Yeah, I definitely think the presence is there. It is there.
So
I just don't know if it's gone into her
Well, maybe
yet.
it hasn't gone into her yet, but I think it's around enough to where she's like, yeah, Captain Howdy is a new thing for me, but I'm trying to figure it out.
Absolutely.
And this is how I'm trying to process it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I agree. Yeah. That's scary, Madeline.
No,
yeah.
She's like, I have firsthand experience for this. Father Carlos.
But that scene where she comes in and she's like, "Are you asleep?" And then she's like that. And she walks in and it just goes
in her eye.
I had to rewind it to be like, did they shoot that in reverse? Because something about the way her eyes just are just open. Yeah. But they didn't because I think it's the same shot. I mean, they might have reversed.
I don't think they did either.
I don't think they did either.
I even made note of that because it wasn't. What I liked about that was it wasn't this.
Yeah, exactly.
It was just this. Like, it was just a very calm opening, and I was like, it's more unsettling that she just kind of did it normally.
Okay, good call, Madeline. You definitely do need to make sure about that because that's not. Yeah, that's good. Doesn't even question the bed shaking. Yeah. I mean, later when the doctor's like, it's just because it's like a mom lifts a truck over her kid. It's the body when it goes.
Well, she protests it.
And yeah, exactly. She goes. I was on it, and it whatever. And then he's like, and he goes, Chris, your daughter's bed isn't her problem. It's her brain. And I would go, okay. Still though, the bed
also
was
that
moving.
Bed, though? Exactly. That bed's also the problem, though, guys.
Absolutely.
But I feel like. And this is why the writing's so good, because even if because they cut out right after that moment, which is a great line of dialogue. It's your daughter.
Yes.
And then they cut away, but essentially what they're implying there is it's even if she had continued, it's just going to be talking to a blank wall. Like the doctors are still behind this facade of it doesn't matter what you think it is. It's science will explain this, which is what makes the scene later on.
When he's
really befuddled.
You need a priest, bro. Yeah, exactly.
Because he literally does this where he just sits back and he's like,
yeah.
I don't know.
And he's like, there's one other possibility.
Yeah, right.
Another thing that I love that places this firmly in 1973 that made me giggle and chuckle after a while. It's like almost, I mean, not every scene at all, but like several scenes. They're like, "Well, hey, Father," and everyone lights up a cigarette. Literally everyone. There's like a cop, and he's like, "Oh yeah, whatever." There's a priest. There's a surgeon, and he's like, "Yeah, cool, whatever. Yeah, cool." Everyone lights up a cigarette. Also, it's great. It's hilarious.
Are priests? So and maybe you would know this. Are priests allowed to drink?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, it depends what your vow, like you take a certain vow, I think. Like the one guy mentions he has a vow of poverty. Wait, I think that's priesthood. Maybe it's also just monks. I don't know. Yes, they are allowed. Yeah. It is a she. Wait, what's a she? Oh, you're measuring friend? Sonny bitch! How you doing, my friend? It is wine, absolutely.
That's
but I'm
right.
just saying, but like, I don't think there's like necessarily, you can't get married as a priest. But you can drink. I don't know if you can. Thank you for the bits. Thank you for the bits that you give to me. Poverty is monks. Well, I mean, I think you take a vow. I don't know. It depends on your order. But the guy mentions having a vow of poverty. But like, and monks take different vows. There's like vow of celibacy, vow of, which I think they're all, I don't know. But there's a vow of, I'm already out of my depth. What's the Catholics want? A priest would roll in after school with a can of Bud Light in hand. Priests drink a lot. Yeah, I don't think Catholics are. Yeah, some priests can marry. Definitely. Sorry. Episcopal priest. You call it a priest. Priest to me means Catholic because it's Catholic or Episcopalian. I feel like. And the other, they're called preachers or whatever. Anyway,
it was more in the way. It was just like, oh, they just go to bars, and then they're like,
yeah.
And then like the one,
and he lights up a cigarette and it's doing that movie thing where it's doing that. I'm like, you're a priest.
Yeah, it was like taking off the shoes with a cigarette. It was just all very casual, or like because he was an actual priest.
Yeah, the one dude who totally.
And he was like playing piano at the dinner party.
Yeah.
Did you think and I say this strictly because of the line of dialogue they gave him where he was like, when he's playing piano and he's just like, my ideal, life or something or other is, I'm playing, and what was it?
He's like, I'm playing
something.
It was basically I headline this kind of show in heaven where I'm playing, and everyone loves it.
And everyone loves me.
Yeah.
And I just thought I thought he played it in a way where I was like, are they trying to allude to the fact that he might be gay? I really thought that might have been the intent of that. Because it seemed like a weird Friedkin thing to do, because he just likes to be like, do it that way.
Yeah,
that'll get him going. Because he loves to do weird stuff like that.
That's interesting. That didn't occur to me, but I totally.
I only picked up on it this time because I thought I was like, oh, he says it in a very specific way. Not saying that all gay people talk like that, but like I thought that there was an emphasis
that might
there.
be the intention. Yeah. Sure, that's interesting. Picked them up on it. Yeah, like in retrospect, I go, oh, that makes total sense. But I just kind of thought he was being theatrical, but whatever. Yeah, totally. Let's see what else is here.
And then she peed on the carpet. That was weird.
Yeah.
When was the first time you got scared in the movie? Because when she goes
when her eyes open, I was like, bleh.
Was that the first time you got genuinely scared?
After a while, I wasn't scared, although
there wasn't any moment, because like I'll tell you this,
and
it's not the first attic scene, but when she goes up to check on those rat traps, and I remember seeing this in the theater for the first time when I was 13, and when that candle she's holding just goes,
yeah,
and then they immediately cut away from the scene. It scared the shit out of me.
Because it's that, and he immediately goes, see nothing. And
yeah.
Like, what's that voice?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Booze and smoking are okay in moderation, but no sex. Yeah. It's such an interesting. I don't know. I think it comes from the idea. That, at least in the traditional biblical reading, Jesus himself did not have sex or have a partner or something like that.
Which is why Martin Scorsese's Last Temptation of Christ was so
because
such
he and Mary
deal.
Magdalene.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
So show too. Yeah.
And it's interesting because there are different, there are Gnostic gospels and different interpretations of the whole thing. But yeah, anyway. First he jumped, was then rushed down the stairs head first.
Yeah.
So
that's a genuinely terrifying moment. And I'm so sad you didn't get to see that.
I know. I mean, I've seen the clip of it.
Yeah. But yeah, I also appreciate that there's a lack of jump scares in the movie.
Absolutely.
I really do appreciate that.
I mean, there is just. It's more like, gosh, it's more. I mean, things that make me go like, whatever. But it's
Yeah.
almost like
Yeah, I'm not even
it's
saying
almost like
that.
shocking. It's like it's like when you.
When was the first moment where you're like, oh, boy.
I mean, like the eyes open and then. I mean, I feel like the first time you see her in makeup and you're like, oh gosh, like this is not good, and it's like,
Yeah.
and she's just like, nah, and it's just
Yeah.
all this stuff, and then like, and then she gets up and is like, "Bah!" Like dude,
Yeah.
you're just like, oh, this is gonna be bad, and then she gets up and says something insane, and you're just like, what is happening? And it's so whatever, it's just smack. Yeah, you're like, what? And you're like, it's so weird. You're like, is this demon like a frat boy? What's going on? Why is he saying this stuff? This stuff is so weird, and it like, and the part like I couldn't, like she gets up and goes at Marin. She goes like, stick your car, your face, and I went, what? Like that was the weird. I was like, she uses the.
Here was one of the best lines that I was just like, this is so
like it made me laugh because it was so absurd. I was like,
when she goes, the sow was mine.
Yeah,
I was just like, that is such a great, what a great line. The sow is mine. Oh, I was just like, because that's that type of line that I was like, that I'm glad we have that Iraq sequence, because that type of thing I was like, oh, I don't really know what's going on there, but this is clearly tying back into some ancient type thing, like the sow is mine.
Yeah. There's some must have loved that role, yeah. Oh, there was a thing on that thing that it was like, because I guess she delivered those lines as well. I mean, she's lip syncing them, and it said that like Max von Sydow. The Sydow is mine.
Maxie.
Yeah, when she was delivering those lines, it unsettled him or it threw him so much that he forgot his lines.
Really?
12-year-old being like, yeah, motherfucker.
Yeah.
There's a great. Gosh,
Mike Nichols was supposed to direct this, and he almost took it on, but he was like, "I'll never be able to find a 12-year-old who's going to be able to pull this off."
Yeah.
He's like, "There's no way."
Yeah, and it's crazy. It's crazy. Widow, but it doesn't. Sydow. Okay.
Thank you. That made it so simple. We're really struggling over
I'm gonna
here.
come back, and it's just not gonna work for me. I promise. It's just not. I'm gonna come back and call him Sydow. But anyway, Sydow Baker.
Sydow
K19.
Okay, so let's talk.
I mean,
about...
there are just scenes where she's like, it really, because I mean, you talk about the makeup and stuff, but it's her too, man. Like, because there are moments where she looks up, and she's just like so blankly staring, and it's just like. It's
her. I mean, without question.
Absolutely. And oh my gosh.
But the makeup, which is also one of Rick Baker's legendary Rick Baker, is one of his first, and he wasn't even the main guy.
And Dick Smith, who's a legend, and then Rick Baker, like American Werewolf, Rick Baker the thing. I mean, it's just oh my gosh. Like,
but isn't it crazy how just like, I mean, it feels like there's just some people in Hollywood where you're like, wow, you've just kind of been involved in everything. Yeah. And Rick Baker just has that thing where I'm like, Rick Baker, of course he was there. Was there makeup involved? Yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah. She does she electric jaws in ways that are amazing. Yeah. Honestly, the first part that really made me, and this is interesting because of something that I read that I also have to, which you probably also, I don't know, when they take her in to do the angiogram and they put the thing in there, it's so surgical.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
let's talk about that whole scene.
In the sense of like surgical, in the sense, I mean, literally it is. I mean, it's not surgery, but they're doing a thing. Just the way it's so realistic. I mean, obviously, and the way he's just approaching, he's just like, we're gonna this and we're gonna do this, and blood just goes.
Yeah.
And he goes, and we're gonna hear. And
yeah.
It cuts to her, and she's like cuts to Ellen Burstyn in the window, and I'm like. I was like, I don't believe they would let her watch that, and second of all, I'd be going nothing like it was. And
then they put that thing over her head and it's just goes
like
boom, boom, boom,
which
boom,
is, the
boom,
X-ray,
boom,
the
boom,
gong gong gong, or the CAT scan or whatever that is. I mean, it just and then he puts it over and then like take it out and it goes spraying more. That was like
so apparently, and I don't know because I haven't read the novel, but I know that was. Something Friedkin either really pushed for or he saw himself and included in the movie. Like, I don't know if that's in the book, but he saw that procedure and it was like, I feel like that would lend credence to like everything that's going on here. So let's try it. And then they saw what it was really like. Everybody saw it and was like, oh, this could be one of the most unsettling things in the movie. So they spent a lot of time filming it.
And supposedly, according to Blatty, the writer, William Peter Blatty, who wrote the novel and the screenplay, and adapted his own novel as a screenplay, apparently according to him, he was like, the things that you hear about people fainting and running out are that.
Yeah, right.
It was not the supernatural stuff. It was that. People were like flipping out at that.
Yeah. And the surgical stuff was done by the real technicians. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, wait,
wow,
that guy's a serial killer? Because I also knew that he was a real doctor. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah. But, and like, we've just, thank God, gotten over Aurora. She's on the mend now, but she's been ill. And like, there was a part where time where like, she wasn't breathing well, and or like it seemed like she was having trouble, whatever. And I've just spent the last 3-4 days. I mean, she was better yesterday and whatever. But it's been a chunk of time where I'm just like, I just want her to be okay. I just want her to be better.
Yeah.
I just want her to be better. And so watching this was like again, and also like pushed to 1 billion, obviously. But the whole movie, feels, especially by the time the exorcism starts, but just because you're dealing with it through Chris and it just feels exhausting.
Yeah.
Exhausting. And you're just like, what? And everyone is just strained, and at the end of everything, and they're just like, yeah, and we're just going, and it just I mean, by the later scenes when she's in the bed, you're just like, she's just been in that bed for so long.
Yeah.
She's got to be in such pain. Like, it just is so like...
And when by the time that Chris meets Father Karras for the first time,
yeah,
and she's beaten up by that point, she's wearing a scarf around and she's got sunglasses on. She looks so much like a battered wife type thing, which is the intent, but like I've never... And her performance has everything to do with this, but also what you're just saying, like everything she's been through, it's just done so well that I was just like, yeah, she looks completely traumatized, and and when she's just like, I just want you to be able to fix her, and help my daughter.
Help her. Why would you help her? And you're like,
and you just really feel it, yeah.
And then like again toward the end with the exorcism. Yes, absolutely. I totally agree. It's Madeline. I totally agree. And I mean, talk about how much more effective that movie is, because not just her, Linda Blair in those early scenes is so easy and natural, and just bright and full of life. And the love between them is so clear.
Oh, when she gets to the Ouija board, and then she's like, where'd you get this? And like, she's just in the back, and she's like, the closet.
Yeah.
It's just a great line reader.
Yeah.
It's just like, that's great.
She's great. And like, talk about how much more effective it is.
Oh my God, Madeline! Sorry. I just totally cut you off.
Yeah.
But you're so right. I teared up at that moment.
Yeah,
because she says it so softly, and it's so defeated, and you feel it in that moment. You're right. You just feel it. It's so beautiful.
And it's so great because that moment follows, like, they've just been. I mean, you're just in there in that room with that thing that's just being an asshole. Like, it's just screaming and throwing things and being like, your mother cock, and you're just like, yeah, the cock's right, sure, all 100 cocks.
Yeah, right.
Your mom's
a bunch of penises.
Yeah,
right.
big. I don't know why you're so fixated on this. It's like, that's what you humans don't like, right? A bunch of cocks in your face. And you're like, why? And it's just like, your mother goes through a car wash of cocks. It's just a big car wash of dicks, and they're just flopping her in the head. That's what she's doing. Bunch of dicks. And you're like, why is this your thing? Okay, like, it's not pleasant, but come on. You're just like,
you just made him sound like a petulant, like a 12-year-old.
Yeah,
dicks, right?
Yeah. You're like, oh, just put a dick in it, you big dick sucker, you big fucking douchebag. And you're just like, what?
And poop.
Yeah, what else? What else don't you like? Yeah, and Michael Dukakis. Oh no, too early. Well, I don't know what's going on. It's just like the things you don't like. It's so weird. It's just so immature, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's like the worst things I can say are weird sex things because you're Americans.
Well, I think because like Blatty, the writer of the novel and the screenplay, a lot of people obviously asked him about like the crucifix masturbation scene, and he was like, "Well, I wrote what I thought would be it was the most offensive thing I could possibly think of." And I think it was just like that that was just the baseline for everything he was trying to come up with inside that room.
Yeah.
It was like any type of phrase or anything he was like, wow, that's really
anything a
offensive
child
for a
shouldn't
12-year-old
say.
to
Exactly.
Right.
And it
I bet the kid paid the writer said that in the ad.
hey, can I say some real cool stuff that my friends at school are gonna? You
Like, mother sucks cocks in hell. What? Yeah, Jesus.
in hell? Goodness. Because again, as we've said, that's the last place. Because it's either humans that you don't want to be doing that to, or it's like monsters and you don't want that. It's just not a good place to do a bunch of that stuff. I mean, I don't know, depending what your goals are. No. But yeah, I mean, it's like you're just in there, and like really, it is. You just find like it's screaming dick at you, and you're just like stop, and like knocking people around and being like, "Your mom, I'm your mom. Why you do it to me? Why?" And you're just like, "Oh, terrible." And then they go outside and sit down, and they're just like, he's like, "We need to rest." And then it's just that shot of them, just both like this.
It's one of my favorite moments in the film.
Yeah, it's so great, and you feel it. You're there with them. You're like, gosh, and it's such a quiet moment after such a freaking.
That's that room tone sequence I was talking about, where you can almost hear the room tone in that scene, where it's because it's that quiet.
Yeah.
And when you're in the theater, you're just you hear the silence in that moment.
And then
what does he say in that moment? He's just like, why would he do this? He says something to the effect of like, why would he do this to a young girl? And I can't remember the exact line, but Sido says, what does he say? He's like, because the devil wants us to despair, or it's something far more eloquent than that.
You know what's crazy is
it's the most beautiful. It's a great moment.
I don't know. That's in the version that I saw.
Oh no! How does that scene play out for you?
Am I crazy? Because I remember those lines. I remember those lines.
Well then, so it is in there.
I remember those lines but I don't remember it from what. Like,
is that whole scene not in there?
When they're sitting on the steps, that like. But
do they say anything?
No.
Oh my!
Unless I'm entirely wrong.
That's crazy. That's one of my most favorite moments in the whole.
And I remember
film.
those lines. And it's so much at the heart of it. I'm amazed that they wouldn't have. Maybe I'm insane, but I don't think that was in the version that I saw, which is crazy.
That's wow.
But if I'm proven wrong, then great, because it's a great. I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up.
You watch it after working a double at the restaurant. Is like, oh, they're as tired as me, if not more, and they've hardly been. Yeah, exactly. It's Madeline. Did anyone else watch the not director's cut? Anyone else watch the version that does not have the spider walk, and not remember those lines in the film? Because I have seen those lines, so maybe I've seen the director's cut before. Because it makes no sense to cut those lines.
No, it's like the theme of the film.
I know, yeah, exactly.
I have to say that it's got to be in there. It has to. Yeah.
What are the, well, I guess you said you couldn't remember.
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah. Maybe look up Exorcist Stairwell.
I could play it.
Sequence.
I definitely found the sequence.
But I wonder if it's from. I mean, the it should say whether it's from any conscientious YouTube uploader.
It's not letting me.
Oh.
But the line is, Marin, I think the point is to make us despair, to reject our own humanity. Yeah.
And that's in that scene? Maybe I'm crazy.
Yeah, he says, why this girl? And then Father,
because all I remember him saying is,
Kara says, why this girl? And he goes, and then Sido says, I think the point is to make us just despair, to
Yeah.
make us doubt our own humanity. Yeah.
Yeah, and that, I mean, that's so
It's so beautifully
so
written
core
and
to the-
delivered, and it's just, and then he immediately stands up and goes to go into the bathroom.
Yeah, and he says,
so you
"Excuse
do
me."
remember all that.
So it must be in there, and my brain was elsewhere. Because I remember those lines,
Okay.
but whatever. Anyway, whatever. But yeah, and so then he goes in, and then he, there's this very interesting.
God, I kind of want to watch it on. I want to watch it on VHS.
Yeah,
It just seems like a great.
yeah.
You know what's a great movie to watch on VHS? Highlander.
I watched the only time I've seen The Fly was on VHS. It was
Really?
great. I mean, it was semi.
That would be a great one to watch on VHS.
great on
yeah.
VHS. Also, Videodrome would be good to watch it.
Oh yeah.
Videodrome is weird. Anyway, but
yeah, that like I have to say like because the movie moves at a pretty intense little clip, like because the editing is so like it's just like he's cutting scenes short and then he's moving on, and then he just once Father Damien arrives,
or Father Marin.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Once Father Marin arrives, it just everything slows to a crawl, and then it's just like the last half hour is just the exorcism.
Yeah.
And it is, and he plays that scene, like that whole ending, and the moment he arrives, did he get nominated? Like, because he plays that character so beautifully,
so.
where
He
you
does.
feel genuinely comforted. The fact that he's
Me
just
too.
there.
I'm like, oh, we're good.
Yeah.
The way he's saying those lines, the way he's just conducting the exercise.
And I love when he's like, "Would you like a drink, Father?" Like when she's putting like logs in the fire, and he's like, "Do you drink, Father? Would you like a drink?"
Mhm.
He's like, "Well, usually no, but." And then he says something very coy, like, "But I won't tell if you do," something like that.
That was not in it either.
Really? Okay, so we're starting to see where those scenes are picking up.
That's interesting.
Huh?
That's very interesting.
All
It's
those
such a
things
powerful-
were very well, like, good additions.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, and some of the like he cut some stuff, and Blatty was like, "Wish he hadn't cut those things." And then later, I guess I don't know if Blatty convinced him to do the director's cut or whatever. When he did the director's cut, Friedkin has been like, he's kind of gone back and said, "Yeah, the director's cut is my favorite." The stuff, the one with the stuff that Blatty originally.
Well, let me ask you this: in the original version, how does it end? Does it end with the priest going to the stairwell and
And
then
turning.
walking off, and then it ends? So the entire scene where him
'Cause
and
I wanted to ask you about
the
that.
detective returns, and then it's him and the priest, and they walk off together, and they're gonna go see a movie.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's how the director's cut ends. And that's one of the first, and that was a major point of contention for Blatty and Friedkin, and a major sore point for both of them, because Blatty was a big believer in the director's cut ending. He was like, you got to have the detective come back, and they've got to talk about going to see a flick together, and it's got to end.
Why?
It's
I
got to
wonder.
end on a more hopeful human note
Well,
than
so-
just looking at where his friend died and walking off.
So that is interesting because, and this is I wanted to talk about that ending because, it is because the whole thing is, oh, you're one too. Oh, a priest. Oh, that's interesting. As panel.
he does
because
say something
because
like that.
because
yeah.
the whole thing, right? We go through this whole thing. We meet Karras. We see what he's going through. He says he's afraid. He's unfit to be a priest. He's lost his faith. All this stuff. He's like, I can't do an exorcism. And he just does it out of the need to help this person, right?
Yes.
And he just is like, he kind of
He's
puts,
totally ill-equipped, yeah.
and he puts his insecurities aside, his feelings about feelings of inadequacy. I was reading very interesting thing. There's a whole quote from Blatty that I kind of wanted to talk about later, but where he's talking about like that his whole thing is he's struggling with faith, and he's struggling with he feels like he's not. His point of contention, according to Blatty, his point of contention with faith, or his point where he's kind of lost faith, is he doesn't believe that humans are good enough for God to love, and that he himself is not worthy of it, and that why would and it's this, and then he goes through this whole experience, and he kind of puts all that aside because he's like, I need to help this person, this situation, and then Cedar comes in, and they do the whole thing, and he obviously, he throws himself out the window, and I was kind of like, he's sitting there and he's dead, and everyone's crowding around, and I'm kind of like, okay, so like, I was like, so he got his faith back? Because I get that that's it. I just don't know that I really like that they really necessarily showed that. Like to me, he was just doing what he needed to do. And then he had the strength to kind of go, and go like whatever. But I was like, is that really him getting his faith back? Is that just him going, I need to, but the moment that it happens is when maybe like he goes and takes his hand and is administering last rites. And he's like, he's like, do you confess yourself? He's like, do you want this? And he's like, it's him going.
Yes.
And that it's so beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
It makes me cry.
And it makes me cry.
Absolutely.
Like from him jumping out, and it's a tragic, horrifying scene, but him pushing it down and the face and his eyes going back to his own eyes, and then him pushing it and then jumping out the window, and then that. It's such a subtle way of showing that he got his faith back by just squeezing his hand, because that is it. Like, because by defining that he was able to find good, through himself, and it made me cry.
It's so beautiful, and so it ends with that scene, and it's gorgeous. And the other thing that made me cry was that, and then it's just beautiful because then that happens, and then they go, and then we're like, okay, and they're packing up the house, and it's very interesting. It's a very interesting like. Beautiful. So much is so subtly played, but like she's like, okay, and she's like, I'm gonna miss you, and she's like, you sure you won't change your mind? And she's like, because she's just like she's like, no, but to me it's like she's like, I'm not gonna go be your nanny again with that kid. It's just been too much for me.
Yeah.
And she's like, I love you, I love her, I can't.
Yeah.
And it's just that's really nice.
And then, honestly, and then right after that, when they're outside. And Reagan goes up to the priest.
That's what made me cry.
And that's what made me cry too, because she sees his collar, and it's like she's just like.
But because
I know something's there, and I don't know what, because she can't remember anything.
That's it. That's the key.
But she remembers something about that. Made me.
Too.
Oh man.
Me too. That's it. That's what made me, because she goes. She doesn't remember anything. And early on, they establish she's like, I'm not religious. My daughter's not religious.
Yeah.
And she just sees that collar and goes, that saved me. Like, or that person, someone wearing that gave himself for me, or what? It's beautiful. She just goes and kisses him,
and then it's very beautiful. Clipped, and then she immediately goes and gets into the car.
And then so it's this wonderful thing, and that's so great. Like that is great. That's just is beautiful, and then that's beautiful, and then they drive off. And then he walks off and goes and sees the staircase and turns and walks the other way. And they're playing the Tubular Bells thing. And to me,
I prefer that. That seems like the most artistic and appropriate ending, because that does not seem like a downer ending. The collar, that's it. That's all I need.
Exactly.
Because then it's just like the one who was possessed realizes that there was something there, and they see the goodness, and they're gonna pass. Yeah. They're gonna continue that goodness on and sacrifice, upends, and it's gonna keep paying it forward. And I was like, that's it. And he did something that showed to others, like he sacrificed himself, and it was just. It's great, and I think it's the better ending. Because if you've seen the other one that's in the director's cut,
it seems a little.
Seems a little tacked on, and I'm like, I get it works, because the final shot is them walking off, and then in the foreground is the boarded up window that he jumped through. So it's also tastefully done.
But it's also and then the boarded up window is on, like, you get it in the other one too.
Oh, you do.
It's next to his.
Oh, then it's by far the better ending.
It's next to his head.
Okay, so I think the original ending is the better one. But everything else that they included was great.
So the thing is, what's interesting is, like, if they ended with him watching her drive off or whatever, then that's it. And then the last thing is that collar kiss thing, and that's beautiful. But because to me, the last thing you put in your movie, the ending, right? The last shot, the last thing you say is of paramount importance. It's what you leave your audience
Sure.
with. It's if a film is an argument, or, you know, if it's going this or this, this or this, this or this, this or this, right? If they're going like, especially in this movie, if it's like evil wins, good wins, evil wins, good wins, evil wins, good wins, right? And then it goes boom, 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 boom. He walks up, and the whole movie of the whole question of the movie is, like Friedkin says, is the question of faith,
Right.
and getting faith back, in this case it is religious faith. I don't know. I mean, I guess specifically it is, but it can be extrapolated.
Sure.
This means yes, and then the other thing, the kiss, but then he walks up to the staircase and just is like, I'm walking away, and we've seen this courageous act in the face of whatever because of faith. I almost kind of go, is that guy did he lose his faith a bit because of this whole thing? Like, to me, turning away and not having it's like, because we've seen this courage, and then he sees it and he just goes, and obviously on a human level, it's like, my friend just died there.
Sure.
But I don't know if he's like, I'm afraid of this power, or like, I don't know. Like,
I think it's him acknowledging the tragedy of it, but also understand, like, it is a, and I think this is what makes it so beautiful, is because it's both things. It's both complete and utter sadness that he lost his friend, but knowing that he got his faith back in the process. And I say that specifically because you're telling me that the shot, the final shot, is a very hopeful shot to me, because what that final shot
of him walking away, okay,
of him walking away, but specifically the window being boarded up in the foreground, because what that window represents.
The window is not in the last shot. The window is in the shot of him looking down. So he looks down. The window is next to his face. He's looking down at that staircase, and then he just walks off.
And then he walks away, right?
So to me, that's what I'm saying. Like if
that could be seen as a downer.
Now,
I still take it as a beautiful thing, but I could see why.
And this is where I think it is important what you choose to go last, because if that scene happened, and then one or two of these other scenes happened, which is impossible, but like, if there was something else, like
Sure.
if like he walked off, then walked up, then got his collar, then walked, like, just was there and then walked over to the house,
Sure.
then got his collar kissed,
and then ended with him watching the girl go away.
That's
honestly,
that's 100%.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. I know what you're saying.
Sure.
It may be saying nothing more than I'm sad my friend died, but the things that you just said were so much more profound and married to the theme of the movie that either this doesn't, and it's a mistake.
Yeah.
Or
agree.
you're implying that this says something about the theme of the movie, which is what I have to take it as.
You have to, yeah.
And so, and whether or not it is, I go, sorry, you put it there. You're saying that this is the most important thing I want to leave you with.
They should have just flipped it. Because it's such a, like, they could have easily done that.
Because to me, you're not going, it's not a power, it's not a profound thing that you're saying that relates to the theme of the movie to go, I'm sorry, my friend died. I mean, it's a very big thing, but he's going, I'm sorry, my friend died, and I'm afraid.
It would have made.
I feel like you have to be saying that.
And it would have made the reason for, that would have worked so much better, because it would have given credence to, like, why he's acting the way he's acting from the minute they step outside and they see him.
Yeah.
And then she would have comforted him,
and he gets it back
through complete recognition. That would have worked so much better. I'm surprised.
I know.
But see, here's the thing about Friedkin is, like, he likes dark shit.
Yeah.
But either way, I wish, and I'm glad that they at least did it with the director's cut, because that final image of the boarded up window, it says everything. Because by ending, and so that makes me do,
because it's
now
a
saying
heroic,
what you're saying,
it's a heroic
what
thing.
you're saying, I do like the director's cut ending now, even though it seems a little tacked on. They still loop it in with him talking about films earlier on with Father Karras.
Right.
So actually, now that I'm talking it out, it's actually quite a beautiful ending, because he's paralleling it with the exact conversation that he had with Father Karras. And then what Madeline said, he's like, because he has a coy remark to his suggestion. He's like, hey, have you seen the one with blah blah blah?
And he's like
then
Groucho Marx and
yeah, and then he has a coy answer, and the detective's like, oh, you're one too, huh?
Yeah.
So it's like he can almost see a little bit of the fun humanity of Karis,
sure.
and then that I think that's it, and then they walk off, and then that's the final shot.
And yeah, and it's alluding to the
heroism
exactly.
of Karis, and how humanity won over the devil in that sense.
That's what I'm saying.
Love,
and know? so I'm with you with what you're saying. I agree with that. She's saying sort of like oh crap. She's saying, well, she was saying that and. Tell me if I'm getting this wrong. But she's saying there are movies that are like, is it X or is it Y? Is it X? Is it Y? And then it goes, like a movie's going good or evil, good or evil, good or evil, and then it goes good, and then it goes evil, right? Like at the end, and I get that. But to me, in this movie, no, because that's in a monster movie or something where it's like cheapened, like not cheapened, but you're like is
dun dun dun.
Yeah, is the Shredder dead? I went to Ninja Turtles and he's like, no, he's not. Or like, is Jason dead? Yes, he is. No, he's not.
Right.
But this is like these characters that we have gone through this with, have gone through so much. Two of them have given their lives for this. This is. And ultimately, if it's about faith,
his death.
It cheapens everything.
Yeah.
It cheapens everything.
Yeah.
And I have to, because it's last, I have to go, you're saying this relates to the theme somehow.
Absolutely.
And then I'm going, you're saying, maybe it's just saying, even though all this happened, the world is still a tough place to live in, or there is still that fear, or there is more to be done, or there's more but it to me kind of undercuts the beauty of what it did.
I could see that. I also because all that is still in the director's cut, so I know exactly the shots. So it's literally him. He walks away from the stairwell off camera, and then it cuts to black. I mean, because I had heard about that. So when I was watching, I was like, oh, that's where the original ending is. So even then, I can take it as. It is an ambiguous type thing, which makes it interesting and complicated, but I still think I don't think it cheapens the ending because it's saying
no, but
that happened and that was harsh and that was and you lost your friend, but your friend, and it's why I wish the window thing was there to reinforce it at the very, very end because at the same time,
because that window is the thing.
His friend still defeated the demon,
and that's it.
The devil.
That's the thing. But that's what it is. That's what it is. We go, there's this terrifying thing. It took everything, literally everything this man had, but we defeated it.
Yeah,
defeated it. And then that man, then this guy, and then we have all this beautiful stuff, and he walks up to the staircase. Because consider the difference of him looking at it and then walking down.
Sure.
I mean. I don't know. Because that's the choice. He goes, have we defeated it? And I'm not saying that this, it seems to be like the character's going, I'm still scared of it.
Yeah.
Which
I'm not going to lie, literally flipping, and it requires zero editing. It is literally flipping those two shots to that sequence right before he shows up would have been fantastic.
Yeah. Gymnosophist, thank you for the follow. Omnian, thank you for the follow. I'd love to. I was looking for analysis of that or whatever. And I was like, last scene of The Exorcist, and they're like, yeah, where he jumps out the window. I was like, no, the last scene of The Exorcist. Everyone, shut up. That's not the last scene.
Right.
I think that cheapening eliciting an emotional response in people definitely has value. Cheapening eliciting the eliciting of an emotional response.
I think that cheapening
it makes
eliciting
you
an emotional
feel an unfairness about the whole thing. Better than the alternative, not necessarily, but interesting. Yes. Cheapening the eliciting of an emotional. The cheapening itself has value. Like undercutting. Yes, in a movie, yeah. Cheapening to you're saying that you're saying that undercutting the closure you've just, because that's it. It's not closure. Closure is total closure, which I think almost might be too much. Is walking down the staircase might almost be too much. I don't know, because then it's we did it. But I like that. I like that ending.
I can understand Friedkin's argument of being like, I can see him doing the collar and then watching her drive off and being like, this is great, but this is too much closure. So I'm going to tack on this extra thing of him just going, this ambiguous thing where I'm going to have him go stare at the stairwell and look at it very sad to counterbalance that, to show that it we won here and there was victory here for humanity, but at the same time,
this priest is still afraid.
Look at this. Look
That's
at the
crazy.
cost of this, and and it's still out there, and which is true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just one instance where they won.
But
so I get behind it, but you still could have had it if you just flipped it.
I know. And the other thing though, the other thing though that pushes it in that direction is that they're playing Tubular Bells.
I know. And so
I'm like, okay, that's it's still you're like
yeah.
And I kind of go,
yeah, Tubular Bell, that pushes it over the top.
Yeah, like
that makes it like, that's creepy.
I know, and you're kind of, and it's like I don't know. It's kind of like, well, then we didn't win. And if your movie is about, like, as he said, it's like, it's about faith and regaining faith. And I'm like, no, it isn't. Because at the end, or maybe you're just saying your faith isn't bulletproof and you can lose it again.
Well, but I mean, again, and that would have been better conveyed if they just flipped it. Because then you get to show the doubt, but then you get to show, but reaffirm it through your friends and through the people who you fight for and fighting for humanity and stuff like that. And it's just like, what a beautiful... Yeah. But you know what? That's what makes it interesting. That's what, frankly, movies through the 70s are so interesting, because they would end on dour notes and they were so auteur-driven by one voice that's a Friedkin ending, like, through and through. It just really is, because that dude loves... Like, I was watching Sorcerer, the movie he made right after The Exorcist. I watched it last night, and it is a brilliant movie, and he does the same damn thing at the end of that movie, where you're like...
And French Connection, same.
And the same thing.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
Same thing.
Where
it's just like, we've gone through this exhausting, grueling thing that nearly killed us, and in some cases killed some of us, and then it goes, was it worth it?
That is so interesting. Huh. Because he does the exact same thing in Sorcerer, like, to a T.
I love Sorcerer. I can't remember it.
Then I'm not going to spoil it, because we're going to do that one soon.
Sure, yeah.
But it is...
and in Blue Chips, everyone dies. The entire basketball team, all of them. No,
they're like, at the
Shaquille O'Neal.
We're like, we won the tournament, and then they all get on a plane to the Andes.
Ethan Hawke's like, hey guys, it's gonna be cool.
He's like, I'm eating Shaq. Shaq, you're the first to go, baby.
This worked out last time. Is he the one who survives and all that?
Yeah, because
he's got to be. Because is he the only white dude? Why
is he in that movie?
I don't know. I saw that movie on VHS at Goodwill, and I was like, I've always wanted to see Alive. I've never seen it.
So I saw it when I was a kid, and then I read the book like last year, and I was like, this is great. And I was like, I need to revisit that. And I forgot it was, because he's so young, I forgot it was Ethan Hawke, and I'm like, what is this white kid doing in here? Because it's about like a Spanish, like football team. Yeah. Anyways,
is Ethan Hawke's real? He's born in Austin. Why did I say it like that? Like that has anything? He was born in Austin, so. Is Ethan Hawke's name really Ethan Hawke? That's the
coolest
name of all time. Like screw you for your last name being Hawke with an E.
I bet you it's not.
I don't. I would think that it's not, but I bet it is. Wait, so hold on. I bet it is. Because Tom Cruise's name is not Tom Cruise. Although,
what's his name?
Mapother. His last name is Mapother. Cruise might be his middle name though. He didn't totally.
What's his last
name? Mapother or Mapother. I don't know how to say it. It's Mapother.
What's his first name? Fart.
I think it's
Fart Mapother.
I don't know. We got to go with something different. Fart Cruise. Try again.
Fart Cruise.
Cruise is really cool.
Ethan Green Hawke. His middle name is Green. I'm just saying that makes it cooler.
Yeah.
Ethan. My middle name is Lynn. Ugh.
How do you spell that?
Lynn. The most feminine version of that spell.
No, an E is more feminine.
How?
And a heart over the I is more. Sorry.
That's how it's written on my birth certificate.
My name is Brian Francisco Villalobos.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm going to put you in 1493.
Sounds good.
Cool.
So his last name is really Hawk?
Apparently.
Yeah, that
According to Wiki.
mother. Is the most hardcore name to stick in front of Hawk? Hawk. Falcon Hawk.
Falcon Hawk. Striker.
Yeah, like Tony.
Tony.
Yeah, what are the like?
Tony.
Yeah, yes. Goodness gracious. Ryder, like.
I always thought Ryder Strong was the most masculine
Yeah, I know.
name.
It's like what a
Ryder Strong.
Ryder, steal your girlfriend.
I saw him at South by Southwest
Rito,
one
please.
year. He had a horror movie playing there, and like my brother and I freaked because
Yeah.
we grew up on Boy Meets World. And
Yeah,
we
you did.
freaked out, and he was very scared because I don't think he's used to people like freaking out when they see him. But we were like,
He has to be.
and like we knew his name because we were like, we like shouted at him from like
Ryder,
across the
Ryder
street. We were
Strong,
like,
Ryder. Oh, we're gonna see our movie tonight. We love you. Thank you for the
we were
water,
also
Rito, please.
hammered drunk at the time.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
It's really funny too because you're like sometimes you see a celebrity and you're like, oh man, they're gonna love this.
We
And
did
then-
the same thing.
yeah.
We did the same thing to Paul Rudd. And he, like, to the point where we ran into him like 4 times. I think I've told this story before. We ran into him like 4 times over the course of a week during South by Southwest. And by the time we saw his movie that he was there for, during the Q&A, we were laughing a little too hard at his jokes. And at one point he turned to us, he was like, "Did you like that one?" And we were drunk then too. I don't drink anymore, and it was basically because of that incident.
Oh man.
Anyways,
Yeah.
his
The-
last name
the-
is Wiener Smith.
SMBC. Wait, what's SMBC? Super Mario Brothers Country?
Wait, hold on. We just missed a whole.
Lynn is a common male middle name. Lynn. There are definitely males named Lynn.
Wiener Smith.
Not limited to Lynn Manuel Miranda. It's a webcomic. Oh, okay. Wiener Smith. I have forged this wiener from subpar wieners
Come from a long line.
and infused it with with my own soul. Wait, how did you do it? I had to blow. Wait. How? Hold on a second.
I'm a blown.
Yeah.
But what are you? I'm a Wiener Smith.
Yeah. Sounds like you're a wiener blower because you did it in the same. Yeah.
Long line of Wiener blowers.
Look. Yeah. My mother was a wiener blower. Her mother was a wiener blower. Your sisters were. Shut up.
Shut up. We don't talk about that.
The Tony Hawk airport tweets. Yeah, I discovered those like a few days ago and found them. Those are really funny.
Kelly Wiener Smith,
Bravest woman
alive.
alive.
By the
Yeah.
way, have I told you that I've been revisiting all the James Bond movies?
You did tell me that. That's great.
So I started from Dr. No and I worked my way all the way. No, I'm sorry. I started with Roger Moore because I hadn't seen any of those.
I've not really seen those.
They're all terrible.
Well,
And then I went back to Connery and even the Roger Moore ones, but the entire series, it is crazy
yeah. They're
how
insane.
sexist
Yeah.
it is.
Oh, there's a scene.
There are so many moments in all those movies. I mean, countless.
Yeah.
Where they'll like just slap a woman.
Yep.
There's one moment where
Absolutely.
he goes like, "Man talk."
That's
He's-
it.
He's like,
It's
it's in Goldfinger.
it's
He's
in
like
Goldfinger,
slams a woman's ass.
Yeah.
And he like shoves her out of the scene. He's like, "Now go on."
'Cause here's the thing.
It's time for man talk.
Her name is Dink. He's sitting there. She's rubbing his shoulders,
God.
and he's there on the edge of a pool, and then she walks off, toddles off to be like, I'm gonna go. Oh, you got hit by a dick. Sorry. That is like that's the
She
Exorcist.
walked into Reagan's room.
Yeah,
and
this
just
is
slapped.
really bad. Sorry, no, but it really is like it's ridiculous. Sorry, that's really not okay what I said. I was trying to convey the spirit of the movie.
Still funny.
Yeah, but like she, Richard Horny, so back with the horny dick. That's not okay. She, that's really crazy. Anyway, she walks off, whatever, And a guy walks up and goes like, James. And he's like, blah, blah, blah. And he turns over and he's like, blah, blah, blah. And there's something mission, who cares, whatever. And then she comes back up and he's like, this is Dink. Say hello, Dink. And she's like, hello. And he's like, say goodbye, Dink. And she's like, goodbye. And he slaps her on the ass and goes, man talk. And she goes, okay. And runs off. And it's just like, good gravy, man.
It is crazy. Golden Gun is rife with that type shit. It is.
Isn't Christopher Lee the man with the golden gun?
Yeah.
Nice, yeah.
Which is one I think that's the first one I watched because I had never seen it. And I was like, oh, I got this box set. I haven't like popped it open. And I started with Golden Gun. And I was like, whoa! This is bananas.
Yeah. One of the veterans high school's name was Woodcock, and in elementary school we had Mr. Gaylord. What's that?
We had a Gaylord in our school too.
Yeah. I had a very good friend who's a great dude. His last name was Grocock. I don't think we ever really talked about it. And I feel like I'd be like, dude, because I love the dude, but I'd be like, did that ever?
He's like, yeah, did it affect me?
Yeah,
it did.
Just like,
it
did,
completely.
Because he's totally, anyway. Plus, Golden Gun is a sheriff guy who's a real interesting character. There's a guy at my work with the name Richard Wehner. But, well, that's the HEB here in Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the largest, excuse me. Oh, yeah, you're from Dallas. You weren't.
Is his name Butt or Butts?
Butts. It's Butts.
Yeah, Butts.
It is not, however, true that he named his daughters Ima and Ura. That is, however, true of Texas notable figure. I don't know why. I think he was in the legislature or something. W.C. Hogg, and his daughter's name was Ima. He named her Ima. So her name was Ima Hogg. It's definitely true.
I like the idea of it just being a singular butt, though.
Yeah, butt.
Mr. Butt.
Also, there's a meme of a real estate lady on LinkedIn whose name is... No, it's not true. That's not true. Mug Monster. There's no human being on Earth named Gay Hornet. That's not true. Went to school with a guy whose last name was Tess. No! Boy, we really changed the tone here, which I guess we needed to.
Yeah.
Philip Phillips?
It's Philip Phillips.
Philip. Man talk, Philip.
Man talk, Philip Phillips.
We need... Gosh, there needs to be like a Bond, like a female spy movie akin to the Bond that is as... No, because like sexism against males isn't as like ridiculous and light.
It's harder to do.
It's just like, you guys sexually assault everyone. And everyone's like, yeah, it's true. That sucks. And it's like, you white males, you suck. You screwed everything up for everyone. Yeah. And they're like, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, you guys, it would just be a lot of like, the world's, we have war, we have all, you guys really sucked it all up, man. And then we'd just be like, You've seen the video going around Twitter that shows how the crew behind Kidding. Yes, that is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Stallone wasn't one of his kids named something weird. I don't know. Sage? I don't know. But, there's like
Sage
Apple.
is a cool name.
The last Bond girl was named Madeline, and I've been thriving ever since. I never saw Spectre.
Not great.
I just, like, I'm not, this is going to sound, but I'm not holding this against Christoph Waltz. I was like, don't cast him as that. That's the least interesting thing for him to be. I'm like, don't, because he's already played that. Like, they're just, I guess, I don't know, but like.
It wasn't good.
I don't know.
It was boring. It was pretty boring. And it's a
Dude,
Sam Mendes movie.
Yeah.
And they just done Skyfall, but so it's like immaculately made, but it is not that script is not it's not good.
I never saw it. But the last one
Skyfall was awesome. I loved Skyfall.
The last one I loved, no one agrees with this. Quantum of Solace.
Never saw it because I heard it was so bad.
I don't know. That's a movie where I'm like, I don't know what is wrong with anyone. What's wrong with you? Like, you watch Casino Royale, it's great. You watch Quantum of Solace, It is equally great.
Really?
It starts with this great. It's in black and white. This great black and white car chase down the crowded streets of who knows where. There's this really crazy like scaffolding, like several level scaffolding fight where they keep like they're somehow tied and they keep. It sounds dumb, but it's awesome. There's like the Bond girl in that Olga Kuryenko. Kuryenko is like great, but she's not a Bond girl. She's just a compelling female character who's like whose whole thing is like this villain Matthew Amalric, who's awesome as well. Killed her parents, and she has to she's on a vengeance mission. And at one point, Bond and she he has to have this sit down talk with her where they're flying, like she's joined up with him because she's after him to kill him because he killed her parents, and they're flying toward their target, and he has this whole thing where he's like, let me tell you about vengeance. It eats you up inside. It doesn't do and he has this kind of heart to heart where he's like, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm just going to tell you it doesn't solve anything. And I was
wow.
It's the most profound thing I've ever seen in a Bond film.
Yeah.
Then the plane runs out of, I don't know if it happens first or whatever, but the plane runs out of gas and they have to they're careening toward the desert, and it's great. It's awesome. There's nothing
I got it. I'm going to watch it.
I don't know. People are like, when people are like, that one's terrible, I'm like, have you seen a James Bond movie?
Because there's so many bad ones.
What are you talking about?
Oh my God.
What do people have? I don't understand what people like. I just don't get it. I don't get it.
There's a lot. I would say 75% of the Bond movies are terrible.
And that's part of the thing is they're like ridiculous.
Yeah, they're great.
Hi, sweetheart.
But
Are you coming in?
I already did.
oh, she already.
Dang.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Did you like Quantum of Solace? She can't. She's making a face like she can't remember it.
From it.
What is it?
That two-story building with
They're like really cool, like.
that looks like a motel.
Oh yeah. That's awesome.
That's all I
Yeah,
know about
that part's
movie.
great. They have to break into this into this party that's at this huge. I mean, there was like this. He was gonna what was he gonna drain the world of water or something? There's like a crazy Bond villain thing, but they kind of made it make sense a little bit, but it's not exciting. It's halfway between it's halfway between nothing, and it's just a bad guy who has money, and we're gonna put a laser on the moon and shoot the world.
I can never remember half the motivations for Bond villains. Have you ever seen the one with Christopher Walken? A View to a Kill?
No, but I've seen clips of it.
I think it's the worst.
It's got Benicio del Toro in it too.
Does it?
Wait, A View to a Kill
Yeah.
is Walken?
Which got the Golden Gate Bridge. It's Roger Moore.
Yeah, and
I think it's Roger Moore.
And it's
one.
Grace Slick.
It's got who's the very
Yeah,
striking,
I think Benicio del Toro. Yeah, Grace Slick.
African American woman. She was a model. Mm-hmm. What's her name? Grace Jones.
Grace Jones.
Grace
Grace Slick
Jones.
This is a very slippery chair.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
That's super fun.
Is it though?
Yeah.
Stop it.
Okay. That's where she gets it. That's where our daughter gets it.
Mm-hmm.
She'll be like, I'll do a impression or some silly voice or something. It's like a song, and she'll be like, and for 2 seconds, and then she'll go, stop it, daddy, stop it. And I'm like, okay. Fine.
There's
License
we
to
have a
kill.
tolerance and then saturation.
License to Kill. Well, but isn't
All right,
isn't Walken in License to Kill as well?
Noxious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. View to a Kill.
Okay.
License to Kill is Timothy
Is
Dalton.
Dalton. I'm getting them confused.
All right, let's do this right now. Who is everybody, including you guys? Best Bond.
Simply Junior, thank you for the follow.
Brian.
Oh, mine?
Hello, bro.
I mean, there's no contest for me just because of the movies that he was in, the quality of the movies that he was in.
Mm-hmm.
George Lazenby. No, he was only in one. And it
He was in a good one.
Yeah. Apparently it's pretty good. Daniel Craig. It has to be Daniel Craig.
Okay.
It has to be Daniel Craig. I mean, it's hard to not, say Connery, but it's not that hard to say Connery when you got Daniel Craig. Sorry.
I think Brosnan
Bronson. Oh yeah, Brosnan. Sorry.
I think Pierce Brosnan is the best James Bond.
I think he was born to play
I think he was born to play James Bond. I don't think he was it. I think GoldenEye is a genuinely great Bond movie. I think all the rest of that he was unfortunate. He didn't get good movies to be in.
Yeah.
But if you put Pierce Brosnan in Daniel Craig's movies, done.
The one thing about
And I like Daniel Craig.
I do.
But
I love
think
it.
Pierce Brosnan is like embodies James Bond
So-
even more than Connery. And I know that's a hot take.
No. I agree. And he came from a spy movie. He's born to play a spy. He
was Remington Steele, guys.
Yeah, a
Come
spy
on.
show. Yeah, I feel like it's two sides of Bond. Like Daniel Craig looks
Well,
like
he's
a
the thug Bond.
looks like
He's
who like could actually do the
Yeah,
things that
right,
Bond
right.
does. But in terms of the suaveness, it's like, yeah, that's the Bond
And
that
look,
we
I
want
think
to.
Skyfall is like one of the best Bonds, but like frankly, when I go to a Bond movie, like I like all the Daniel Craig Bonds. I do. Casino
Dalton's
Royale, it's great, but I like it when I like them a little more silly. I do.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I do.
I like Dalton. I like him.
Dalton's great.
Dalton's awesome.
He was just in 2 deadly serious versions.
And people were like, what?
they're like, this is not, and they're honestly not that fun.
Yeah.
They're just like real serious.
Who do you like?
I've only seen 3 Bonds.
The Daniel Craig ones?
3
Oh, no.
Bond actors.
Oh.
And I can't remember any of them but Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
Which leaves Daniel Craig as the winner.
There you go. Roger Moore looks like the
I
most
have-
believable
I have-
womanizer.
I also have one image of, I can't remember Pierce Brosnan at all. And I can remember one image of Timothy Dalton,
Yeah.
which
Timothy Dalton's great.
I
He is
liked
great at it.
I know I liked Bond at that age of my life that I saw those. So I don't know.
I love Timothy Dalton because he is what you would get if you turned a cat into a human being and made him a spy. Because he is a cat.
Let's get that Cheshire. Roger Moore looks like the most believable womanizer.
That's really that's funny.
debatable.
It just yeah, sure. I mean, that's saying something.
He's the funniest Bond. He's stupid.
Some people
but here's the thing.
people
I think
love Bond.
I think I enjoy
People
his
love his Bond.
because I watched all of his first, and they're Roger Moore's, and they're so bad but they're so fun to watch.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that people love him. To a generation, he's Bond, and Bond is Adam West Batman. Like it's like
Sure.
it's like
Yeah.
I really like Casino Royale because I'm a sucker for origin stories. I am.
Kasha really likes origin stories, and she hates
Frame stories.
Hates what?
any
Frame
kind of frame
stories.
story.
Frame?
Hate
Frame story.
Frame stories.
Like a
Like Princess Bride.
we're gonna tell you a story, and then it turns into you hate Princess Bride.
You don't like
I don't hate-
bookend type things?
Kind of
Where
like-
it's
I don't hate Princess
where
Bride.
it begins
It's maybe
and then it
the
comes
only
back
one.
to it comes at the end.
I don't
Forrest
like
Gump.
it when there's a no.
Like you hate Forrest Gump?
I wouldn't call Forrest Gump a
You like
frame
you
story.
hate
like
people
It's
telling
totally a
tale?
frame story.
Is
but-
that what it's called? Frame story?
Yeah, it's like I mean that's the most
like
like-
Let me tell you.
what's the CGI tiger movie that was up for an
oh
Oscar
yeah,
that I
Life of
hate?
Pi.
No,
Yeah, Life of Pi.
no,
CGI Tiger?
on a boat.
Life of Pi.
That's called Life of Pi.
Yeah. Not
A
Pi.
tiger on a boat?
Pi is the Darren Aronofsky thing, but it's Life
Yeah.
of Pi.
Really?
Yeah, because he's like a mathematician. I forgot that movie 100%.
He's a mathematician.
Pie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a mathematician or he's a doctor? I don't know.
He's a mathematician.
Yeah.
And
He's
they're
trying to solve
Indian?
the equation to find God.
Gosh, I forgot that movie.
Yeah.
That's crazy. What's that?
That sounds cool.
It's pretty cool.
I'll watch that.
Dong Lee.
And they're Indian and
Yes.
Okay. Oh yeah. You know what is a terrible frame story is.
I've been watching a movie with her and she goes, it's a frame story.
Okay, hold on. This is
happened.
fascinating.
What has happened?
I gotta dig into this.
It's so funny. It's
Like,
so funny to me because
up
she
until
just like
this
she like
moment, I've
hates a
been like-
genre of
I'm
movie.
Like, inside, it's just been going, why? So, why?
'Cause not like-
what is it about it that
Like-
what does it upset you or like?
Yeah,
why?
she like gets mad.
I hated.
Why? But why?
I know.
Like, no, you
I'm
got
gonna
it.
try to articulate that. My hate.
Do you feel like it's, you feel like
Why?
it's, do you feel like it's lazy?
I feel like
Forrest Gump, by the way, is a frame story. 100%.
let me get out what I have to say. Yeah. It's
Big Fish,
Slumdog Millionaire.
She really likes that.
I hate that movie.
I don't know why. I
Is that because it's a frame story? Or is it's framed by like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
It's really funny.
That I have a specific hatred point on that one. But before I launch into that hatred, let me speak about the other hatred. But
I feel like we're varying degrees of like I'm always careful to try to not be negative about a movie. Jeff is more honest, and then you're just like, hey. This
and then you leave it real open, and you're like, I hate Slumdog. I won't go into my reasons right now. Yeah. But I'll let you all assume that they're racially charged.
I did listen to Indian movies and television say I loved it and then go.
What kind of movie is Inception? It's a super frame story. It's a frame story squared.
I like Inception.
Well, you can't.
I do.
I mean, it's not really a frame story. Actually, it's not.
I think it's so
overdone.
Not overdone. Let me talk.
Sure.
I don't think you know.
I don't think I know either.
It's so just not necessary. Tell your story. Princess Bride, tell your story. Why are you telling me that it exists in a book? This is and then cutting back to two characters that have nothing to do with the story of Princess Bride, are not in the world, and are just totally having a different tone interaction.
Okay.
And you just keep breaking it up just to I don't see any point, and it just dilutes the integrity of the story. If your story can't stand on itself, then don't. Like I hate that.
What about like something like Never Ending Story?
Which
Never Ending Story is different.
It
joins them.
That's
exactly what I was going to say.
It's fine, and that's also why I don't mind Forrest Gump.
Because it eventually joins it.
Joins it
because he gets on the bus and goes to Jenny's house.
Because it all flows and
it
it all helps the story the way it goes. Something like Princess Bride, those are just two absolutely different characters.
What about Harry Met Sally?
What's wrong with that?
It's a frame story, technically.
No, it isn't a frame story because it starts with an interview.
No, they're the final interview. It's interviews all the way through with couples.
Seen it
Okay,
it's a frame
story.
She's talking about someone reading a book, and telling a story by
not just that because Forrest Gump is one.
Same for Life of Pi, where he's just like
I remember.
Citizen
Kane is a frame story.
Here's a story that has a totally different world and tone.
What about The Godfather Part 2?
Then we go back to the end and it's just unnecessary. I hate that.
What about The Godfather Part 2? It's not technically.
See, I didn't.
It's a flashback.
I didn't get to watch that.
You didn't? Oh, you didn't get to watch the end of it.
Yeah.
She's seen it. But
Madeline keeps mentioning
Big Fish. I don't remember Big Fish, but it's definitely a frame story.
I didn't like that movie. And
it's like one of my favorite Tim Burton movies. He's just straight out. It's like
I didn't like it, and I also hated the frame part of it. The frame. I remember going like, I think part of the reason I don't like this movie is the fucking frame story.
Well, that's great.
Well, Big Fish. Big Fish. I need to watch again. It honestly faded from.
Oh my God! Are you kidding me?
No.
Oh, that ending with the dad, and then they go into the water, and all the characters from all the stories come running out at the same time.
Yeah, it's very sweet.
It's one of Tim.
I should watch it again. I don't remember anything.
It's his outlier movie.
It's his most artistically, I think. Well, when I say artistically, maybe I mean more thematically accomplished film. I think.
Sure.
And definitely one of my favorites. Best looking Tim Burton movie, Batman Returns. Hands down.
That's interesting.
Best looking.
No, it's not interesting. It's a fact.
An uninteresting fact at that.
Shawshank Redemption is a frame story. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because it starts and ends with red.
But does that bother you? I feel like you need scenes.
Do you not like a narrator?
You like that. You hate that it cuts back to someone in a room and like interrupts the flow of a story where you're like, oh, I was really into what you were telling me about, and now you're cutting back to like the narrator.
Now, I think the worst case of frame story for me is when the characters creating the frame are not even in the world Princess Bride is my
Yeah.
But you don't
ultimate
hate that
example of
movie.
that.
Right.
I don't hate that movie because I can just go, shut up, no reason. And they are charming.
As you wish.
They are at least charming, but I just go, who cares? I don't need for him to go, what? Da-da-da-da-da-da. And then we'll go
Here's what
back
you need
to
do
it.
for Christmas this year.
Yeah.
You need to rip Princess Bride onto your computer and then edit the movie and cut all the Peter Falk scenes out. And
Wait, where you lose Peter Falk.
And then all the Fred Savage shit. And then she will be so happy.
Here's the deal. But see,
I
I
can maybe
look,
watch that
I
movie
I
again.
have weird quirks and stuff that I just like. I
Like
love this
what?
movie and I love and I don't whatever. Well, I just have odd opinions or whatever.
That's cool. Give me one.
You know them. You know them. I've never seen the third Lord of the Rings because I was bored out of my mind by the first two, which I feel comfortable
no,
saying
I mean,
because
like, do you have like a thing like like
that's
a
well
tick?
that like I have
Like a
I
tick
have
shit.
I have weird stuff. I have weird opinions, but what's funny to me is that you're like it's such a specific it's such a it's not even like I hate action movies or I hate whatever. It's like I can't even think of an analog.
I hate horror movies
Yeah,
too.
like I hate.
Except for horror comedies.
You don't hate them. You just
Did you watch Exorcist?
no. She didn't.
Right. Oh, that's right.
But you don't
I have seen it. I just was
you don't like what horror movies are going for. But that's different. Like I understand that. Like I get someone going
I like Tucker and Dale. I love that movie.
you do. Tucker and Dale's awesome. But like it's different, and I'm not like obviously, but it's just funny to be like not because that's the thing. Like it would make sense to be like I don't like action movies. They're just focused on action. They're dumb. I don't like horror movies. They're all mostly about negativity and making you feel bad. They're dumb. Or I don't like them. I don't like comedies. I like serious stuff. I get that. It was funny that you're like
non-content based.
yeah. I liked it. It's funny that you're like I don't like movies that I can't even think of an analog because the frame story is such a specific thing. It's like I don't like a movie that even movies with it's like
I would say even that I also don't like flashbacks. Just a general, although I'm not going to say I hate flashbacks like I
kind
hate
of makes more
frame
sense.
stories.
That's like saying you don't like narration.
I
mean, it's
which can be done fabulously,
wonderfully.
But like whenever I'm thinking of a story idea, whenever like for example, when you suggested flashbacks in the story we were working on at one point, I was like, I don't want to do a flashback.
It is.
I
cool.
don't-
I have a
don't
knee
like
jerk
take-
towards flash. At least in writing, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try not to unless I.
I
Absolutely
actually,
Yeah,
I kind of
absolutely.
just
Yeah,
generally
yeah.
don't like tone, like big tone. I don't like it when movies switch genres either. I don't like it that Gone with the Wind is 2 movies in one. I'm like, no, tell one story, end the movie, tell the second one. You know.
What's the second one?
Well, she's like frivolous. I can't remember the point.
Well, it's before
There's
and
an
after the Civil
intermission.
War happens.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
And
I'm
then
like,
she's
you've
like-
told 2 very different stories. They are 2
But
different
she's-
movies to me. I don't like
Yeah,
it.
but-
I really, really, really appreciate integrity of a story. This story is there, you know. I don't want to add this little bit to it, and I don't want to tell both of them and just call it a 2. You know, it's like
Do you hate
that's the sequel and that's the first.
Do you hate The
one.
Wizard of Oz?
What? Why?
Because it's a frame story.
Well, that
That's
one.
like the. I mean,
It's not the frame story. Princess Bride is the frame story, but
Princess
Wizard
Bride
of
literally
Oz
opens a book,
is it was all a dream, which is
no. Well,
yes,
kind
it
of,
is.
but
so is Alice in Wonderland.
Well, I was gonna ask.
I guess
do
it's not
you-
technically-
Do you hate a
maybe
lot
it's
of
not
early Disney? I feel like a lot of early Disney
Hearing
animated movies
grievances.
open literally with a book opening itself.
Yeah.
And then being like, and then.
But
like,
but it just jumps right into it, so it's not technical. Like
okay,
it's
so
not.
that's not.
Although I did read our daughter the Alice in Wonderland book the other day and got to the end and I was like, it's all a dream. I forgot this stupid.
No, and I get that. That's different. It's different being like
All a
it's all a
Dream
dream.
is
I've seen it
stupid.
before. Split personality. I've
But-
seen it before. I get.
But see, I
get
feel
that.
like Wizard of Oz was like the first one or not.
Yeah,
not
totally.
really.
Well, no, but
but
I mean-
I don't have no idea what the first one was. But it was so early that I don't hold it against it because
I guess it isn't technically. You're right. It isn't technically a
based on
frame
a
story
book, yeah.
because you're right. It is like it's played like it really happens, and then she gets swirled up, and then comes back, and then she wakes up from it. You're right. It's not a frame story.
and
That's-
she's trying to get back to her
Yeah.
to the beginning. She's
yeah.
totally. It's
You're
totally
right. It's
the
totally.
story.
It's totally. Yeah.
It is the actual goal
Someone-
of the movie.
Someone mentioned Aladdin, which They said technically it's a frame story, but it's actually kind of not because it doesn't ever go back. And that's something that I love Aladdin. That's something that bothers me a little bit.
God, you're right.
Because he goes, ah, salam and good evening.
Yeah.
I'm
Wait,
not
he does at the end, doesn't he?
No.
Isn't he like racing up as they're like fading to black or something?
No,
He's
the
like,
genie goes, aha, made you look. That's it.
Oh.
They never go back to clearly Robin Williams.
I love that movie.
I love that movie.
Oh, it's such a
It's my favorite Disney movie.
Is it?
100%.
Mine's Beauty and the Beast, but Aladdin is.
Here's something I came to the other day. We were watching the magic carpet thing, and I was like, and this is interesting, and this is a weird thing to go from The Exorcist to this, but I was watching with my daughter the magic carpet thing, and I was like, I think Aladdin, and specifically The Whole New World, that sequence is the most romantic thing I've ever seen.
It's pretty good.
I mean, like, and then someone was like, you like the Aristocats because I'm an idiot?
I saw that.
That's so funny.
I like the Aristocats because I'm an idiot.
That's so funny.
It's very
because
good.
I watched the Aristocats once and I was like, this is so boring. But why do you say that? I love that.
It's so funny.
It's really funny.
Oh, shit.
And I could go back and watch the Aristocats and not feel that way. But
I like Brave Little Toaster.
Brave Little Toaster is beautiful
It's great.
and horrifying
Yeah.
and so existentially sad.
Yeah.
We
deep, man.
we need to talk. Yeah, that
We
flower
should- I would
flower
love- I
scene.
haven't seen that in years.
Oh, okay. We should
But like
do it.
never ending story.
Labyrinth?
Dinosaurs.
We're back.
Land
Before
Before
Time.
Time.
Land Before Time is the saddest movie of all time. Is the saddest.
It
In the
certainly is
first-
one of the saddest scenes.
Here's
yeah.
why.
first
Here's why. Because it's
month of
Bambi,
us
but
being
everyone
friends.
dies because they're dinosaurs.
Right.
Anyway, go ahead.
The first
They
month of
eventually
us being friends,
Yeah.
we put that in and cried in the middle
So
of the
sad.
night, and it was like we don't know each other that well.
Oh, really?
We're crying at a Disney, or not a
Aw.
Disney, but like a
Yeah, the original.
animated.
Nothing can ruin that romantic moment. Nothing can ruin that romantic moment. It's so great.
I'm kind
The
of tired
animation is
of that
beautiful.
song because I overdid it as a teenager, but I watched it recently and I cried a
It's
little
so
bit.
beautiful.
So it's like,
the part.
share this whole new world with
Yes.
you.
Yeah. He goes, and it's this whole thing where he's like,
Yeah, but he's a liar.
Yeah. But as she says at the end, he
And
goes,
he
I'm
gets-
sorry I lied to you. She goes, I know what you did. I know why you did. Because
But
it's the
he's-
society, it's the problem.
He is a chronic liar. This
No,
is
he's
going to
not.
come up
Also,
again for them.
No.
You think I'm
No.
gonna believe some street rat? Because I'm not.
You're riffraff and street rat. And you better buy that. That's what I'm telling.
So much
Here-
more to
Here's the deal. Here's the deal though. Like it's
Give me back
that
my
moment. It's that moment where, I mean, it starts with you first get when he goes, do you trust me? And she goes, what? And he goes, do you trust me? And then he gets up, but it's the thing where like they have this beautiful da 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 da, and then he elbows the apple to her, and she catches it and goes, and the animation on their faces, I can't.
Do that again, Brian.
She looks up and goes. She does, and then
She goes, you
And then-
are the boy from the marketplace.
because they land, and then she goes, it's a shame. She's like, this is whatever, and she's like, it's a shame Abu couldn't be here, and he's like, no. He goes, no, he hates flying, and plus he, whatever, and the carpet's like. It's just beautiful, and then she goes, you are the boy from the market, and it's great. It's just great.
It's a great movie.
It's so beautiful.
It's my
I love
second
it
favorite
so
Disney
much.
movie.
Let's not be too
Wow.
hasty.
Still,
Okay,
I
Brian.
think he's rather tasty.
What am I going too far?
You
Dragon
know what?
Slayer.
You know what else I also love?
Dragon
The
Slayer's Don Bluth though. What's that?
The Aladdin Super NES Aladdin video game.
Oh, it's supposed to be really hard.
Oh, have you not played it?
I think I've.
Oh, it's like
Not-
one of the main things I played.
It's
on
great.
this. Oh,
it's
great.
beautiful
It's
looking.
very
I've
fun.
not
I'd
played it.
never beat it.
I don't
yeah.
think I've ever played it for more than a few seconds.
It's great.
80s, 90s film Dragonheart. I've not seen that, but that's the I am the last one. That's Sean Connery, and then he slaps a female dragon on the ass and goes, "Man talk.
You're like, you're the man now. dog.
You're the you're the man now,
You're the
dog."
man now, dog.
Oh, speaking of Don Bluth, I might not.
Oh,
be right.
Dragon Slayer. I'm sorry, Dragon's Lair. You're right.
American
Live action.
Tail.
Sorry, with them.
Oh yeah.
Another.
That's-
Is that
really-
him too?
Is that Ridley Scott?
Who is
What
that?
happened to him?
No, it's not Ridley Scott.
He was
Legend is
fantastic.
Ridley
What
Scott.
happened to Don Bluth or not? What's his name?
Don Bluth. So he was a Disney animator. Split off. Made The Secret of M. American
wow.
American Tail. Oh come on! Like I mean, out of order. Rockadoodle. I think Cats Don't Dance. Anastasia.
Oh, that's
Yeah, Anastasia was the one
I
because
never
Don
saw
Bluth.
that. I should now.
Don Bluth stuff gets mistaken for Disney all the time. Anastasia was the one that, like, literally for years I believed was a Disney
I
film.
thought it was a Disney movie
not.
until right the second.
Yeah, it's Don Bluth and where The
disappointed.
Exorcist turns
He's
to
a
Disney.
riff-raff
right?
street rat. You can believe him without.
I'm not Riff Raff Street Rat. I just like Aladdin.
Oh,
That makes
you
that
are the
makes you
boy
so
from the
much part.
marketplace.
You will die a street rat, and only your fleas will mourn you.
Look at that,
Oh,
boo!
when he picks up the palace, right? That happens. But like the genie turns evil and
Yeah,
like
yeah,
he's
yeah.
super big. Oh man,
He's
I
like,
remember being
"Sorry,
kid being
Al."
like that's scary.
No, it's great. But then the
And
Everything
he's-
about
and
it
he
is
skates
ripped-
on that jewel, and you're like, that's cool.
yes, it's amazing. Well, and then one jump ahead of the hitman. I mean, how this is? We've talked about this, and I was like, I don't know why. Like, it's easy to ascribe it to the fact that it being my favorite Disney movie that I was like, I was like
Perfect
the right
age,
age.
yeah.
Also, it's one of the only ones that's fronted by a male. It's kind of one of the most action-packed ones. It kind of like because he's got that whole like it's he's running like Indiana Jones across the whatever.
It's great.
It's great. It's amazing. It's but it's also like it's got freaking Robin Williams. It has wonderful songs.
And they added so many of those. They just let him
Robin
riff,
Williams is
and
such
then
a
they
big thing.
animated to his riffs.
Absolutely,
Because
yeah.
he would just go off, and they'd be like, "Okay, I guess we're gonna need to do Jack Nicholson with glasses because
Yeah.
he just did a Jack Nicholson,
It-
and that
it-
was great." So they would, and I thought I was like, "Oh man,
They give him like a
how
box of props and he
cool.
just pulls
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. And then it's got a villain that like almost stacks up to Maleficent in terms of like he turns into what a wonderful voice. And a great and then he's like Jafar. Oh crap! Oh excellent judge. I mean he's great.
That's a great
Gilbert Gottfried.
Gilbert Gottfried, yeah.
Thank you. But he turns into a giant snake, which is rivaled only by the greatest Disney villain, Maleficent. Turns into a gigantic dragon, which is amazing. But giant snake's pretty darn good. Then he turns into a huge genie. Great twist ending. Itty bitty living space. Suck it.
Oh, when he column A, column B, that
Yeah.
whole
That whole thing. I mean, it's just
it
like
really does have some of the most sumptuous just
Fast
in
stuff,
terms of
yeah.
animation,
yeah, and it also was a shift in the style because if you look at if you look at there are movies like Sleeping Beauty and Bambi, like you go back and look at those movies and you're like that's insane.
Yeah.
I don't understand how people did that. Then they made a huge comeback with The Little Mermaid, which is beautiful. But there are parts where the animation kind of looks a little rough. Like honestly, like whatever. I'm criticizing.
Get off your
Yeah, I know. And then,
Yeah.
flying rug.
but if you look at Aladdin, they rounded everything out. They made it. It's just a totally different look to the animation.
Yeah.
It's much more sweepy, cartoony, broad strokey, but it's great. It's beautiful. The animation on Jasmine and Aladdin on that scene where they're sitting on the roof at the end of Whole New World is unbelievable. Like it's fantastic acting. It's amazing.
Can I ask you this?
Sure.
Do you like? Because I do not like musicals. I respect them, but I cannot get into them. Any Disney movie though,
Is a musical.
I'm all in,
And that's-
they're all musicals.
And I felt the same way. I was like, musicals are dumb. They don't like. There's not. They don't.
so what is that?
They like real life. You don't. But here's the thing. I do love musicals now. The Bridge was Little Shop of Horrors, and I watched it, loved it. The reason I loved it, I realized later, was that Alan Menken and Howard Ashman wrote Little Shop of Horrors and Aladdin.
They're just the best. And Beauty and the Beast.
and Beauty and the Beast and
Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid was yeah, exactly.
And Princess and the Frog.
Alan Menken's still at it. Howard Ashman
Ashman.
passed away so
I
very
only know
sadly.
Menken, yeah.
Yeah,
So, but they were
Howard
a
Ashman
duo-
was the
they were a
lyricist, and
duo.
he's amazing.
Okay.
Oh, and Howard Ashman was like kind of the heart and soul of Little Mermaid. Not that Menken's amazing as well, and I think, but he
He's the
passed away of
music.
HIV. He had AIDS, and it was just, but he's just, I mean, he's just amazing, amazing. I mean, like gosh, that Friend Like Me, like all those, like I mean, like Under the Sea, just all those songs, and the bridge was Little Shop of Horrors to me because I was like, oh, this is like I get it, it's like a live action Disney movie, and then I could get into other stuff, and I love and appreciate.
Have you seen Treasure Planet? Because they're talking about Treasure Planet. That was always the one I skipped because I thought it wasn't supposed to be good, but you guys are talking about like it's.
We
good.
saw it a couple years ago.
Is it
It's
good?
good. It's good. It's
Will you pass me my green thing in the spoon?
it's like one of the it's a weird period where Disney started going like, we're gonna like grow up.
Yeah.
They were like desperately.
They
trying
did that.
To
They
get...
did Atlantis, which are like both kind of like action movies.
They mentioned that too.
I never saw Atlantis. I never saw Home on the Range. There's a whole Lost
Yeah.
Brother Bear. There's a whole.
It feels like that's the second like dark period of Disney animation.
They were
was like
It's not well. They're not.
losing it because of Pixar, right? Because Pixar was their competition.
And then they just enveloped Pixar.
I don't know if
And they
Pixar
were like,
was
we can't
around
get
yet.
this back.
So let me ask you something about Treasure Planet. Is Treasure Planet?
It's not a musical.
Well, I know that,
Oh.
but does it? Because that's
Emperor's
the one
New
that
Groove.
has like the
Emperor's
circular city type, or at least the curved city. Or
I
something
think
to that
so.
effect.
Yes, Treasure Island in space is basically.
Is any of that computer animation, or is that
Yeah.
all?
Yeah, I mean, I think like because they were doing computer animation as far back. Like if you go back and watch
I
The
guess
Little
they
Mermaid.
did that Mulan too. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Mulan's a really good one. Mulan is the one. Like I remember watching the Lion King and going, "This is great. This is the last one for me." I remember having that feeling. Then after was like Pocahontas and Mulan,
Yeah.
and Mulan.
Are
Mulan's
the
great.
Rescuers and Rescuers Down Under are
Disney.
those Disney?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, because Rescuers Down Under,
I've not-
I grew. I mean, that's one of my
Loved-
favorite movies
okay,
of all
good.
time.
So did she and
I
her
mean,
brothers.
the opening where it's just like cricket, 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 rack focus, boom, and then you're just like zooming through the outback.
And it's like an
for
action movie, right?
miles.
Oh, man.
It's kind of an action movie, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
And I've never seen either of them. I've never seen Rescuers.
Right?
I'm sorry. I know.
Oh,
He grew up in
why,
another
you're just-
country.
did I not? I don't think I knew that you had such a hard on for animation, or at least Aladdin. You speak so lovingly.
That's great. I love animation.
We need to do Rescuers because
Yeah.
I've seen
We need-
Rescuers, but only like once or twice. But Rescuers Down Under. It was in the jewel case. Had it.
It was at McDonald's. They had the toys.
Played it out.
Yeah.
Seen it a million times. Like I love that movie. Love Fern Gully.
Yeah.
Fern Gully's great.
But Fern Gully is
No?
maybe
I
Don
love
Like,
Bluth.
Frame Story. Hated.
No. Is it?
No. I don't
Fern
think
Gully
so.
might be. I don't think Fern Gully is Don
I
Bluth, but they're not
love-
Disney. But
Well, of
Mouse
course.
Detective, the great Mouse Detective. That's great.
Oh.
I liked
I've
all
never-
that world of like little.
Yeah.
I
little
tried to watch
animals
that as an
playing
adult
humans.
and got bored.
no, that's Fern Gully. Dr.
I
Rivers.
love-
It's definitely
Fern
not.
Gully.
It's not as good as.
I mean-
those two, yeah.
Robert
Rescuers
Williams
is the one with the
yeah.
two
The
mice
Heart-
who have to.
Not the heart, but like making it amazing.
Iron Giant, fantastic.
Iron Giant, not Disney though. That is.
Okay, Brian, we get it.
DreamWorks?
Just because it's not Disney doesn't mean it's not good.
Fair. It's Brad Bird, but I can't remember. That might be DreamWorks Animation. That's DreamWorks.
I just said DreamWorks.
Yeah, I know.
Two mice on an albatross. That's all you need to know. That'll
Joanna,
Is that a?
you know
Hit-
what happened to me?
get you him just flying
Isn't
through
it-
a snowstorm. Oh, it's so
Is
good.
it, who's the? Is it Ed Asner? Who's the? Or Tim Conway? Who is it?
I think it's Ed Asner, and I think they even modeled.
It's Zsa Zsa Gabor.
The way he looks after Ed Asner.
What
I
are the
want to
names?
say that's true.
Cactus Jack. Oh, I'm sure.
What are the names of the rescuers?
Bernard and.
That sounds
Bernard.
good. Yep.
Some.
We can see the image in the books, and I can't remember to tell.
Cactus Jack, thank you for those 8 months of unbelievable support. Thank you so much, my friend. Good gravy.
Oh, guys, I gotta go.
Oh yeah.
That late.
Oh yeah, rock and roll. Here, one last thing on Aladdin. This is what made me go, oh my gosh, I love this movie. I think I've said this before, and I've definitely said it on the stream before. Oh yeah, Stearman. Thank you so much, Cactus Jacker, for those 8 months. Thank you so much, my friend. Aladdin, I remember. So there's
Wait,
the
what movie they hit up in the pinups?
that
what
is
movie?
Rescuers Down Under or
What movie?
Rescuers. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things. One of the yeah.
And they
one
hit
of the two.
what movie?
They hid like pinups, like there's a what pages from like Playboy or something. I don't know.
Oh, really?
Jafar, he's a man. If he
But
can't
is
do
that
it, great.
true?
Yeah, it is
Or
true.
is that-
I've, yeah.
Because like Lion King, which we haven't talked about. That got no reaction out of you.
No,
Very weird.
Well, I was trying to think
Of all these things, and I said Lion King, and your face didn't change at all.
Well, my brain was
You
trying.
didn't blink, and you looked at me, and nothing happened.
I was trying to figure out if you were saying that Lion King has some sort of dirty thing in it. That's what I was trying to do. Lion King.
You looked at me like you were like, "Don't talk about the Lion King." Like the Lion King did something real bad to me.
That's Aurora's favorite one right now.
Yeah, I've gone back and watched it and gone like, oh dang, the animation of this is amazing.
Oh, the whole wildebeest stampede. Everything. Lion King sucks. What?
That's not true.
It's not true.
It's like
It's just not
untrue.
true.
But
Okay. Sorry, Lion King. He like collapses when he
it says-
like it says sex.
someone said it said SFX, but who knows?
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, no, I don't know.
looked for it.
I don't know the good.
because I spend my time
Yeah,
wisely.
yeah.
and I
There's
couldn't
also
find it.
We all did that when the internet came out.
boner on the
The priest supposedly.
yeah.
Good teenagers take off their clothes, but they don't say that.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
don't say that. I disagree that they actually say that. They hit the topless woman in 2 windows that they fly past. Yeah, that sounds familiar. I don't buy the good teenagers take off their clothes. I've
what?
listened to it. Where he was like, down kitty, when Raja is coming up on the magic carpet. There's a whispered something, supposedly, that says, good teenagers take off their clothes. I think it's just misheard.
What?
I don't know.
There's just no way that can be true, because what if it like they were able to slow it down and like really pinpoint and drop out all the audio, and then that was there? They'd just be like,
There's just so many people
but then
that
they'd
have
be like,
to choose
who
to put
are you
this
gonna
stuff
get?
in
How
there.
many fantastic animators you know?
that's true.
But also the sound engineer and there's so
Right.
many people. It's not just one person putting something in. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm sending you the backgrounds.
Yeah.
You're gonna
It
do
really
all my
is-
in between things.
It legitimately
and you
is in
need
the
to
Rescuers.
in between
though.
my things.
It's definitely in the Rescuers. That's absolutely true. One thing I was going to say about Aladdin, and you can leave. Sorry, you can leave now.
No. What?
Well, I just the one thing that
Why
like
are you still talking about Aladdin?
because it's great and it's my favorite,
No.
and here are all the reasons.
We opened like some sort of Pandora's box. Like I had no idea you had
No,
such a feverish enthusiasm for Aladdin.
Cactus.
Like you guys can't see it right now, but he is rock hard down below.
I'm like a priest in the Little Mermaid. Secret of Nim is very different from Disney films. It is beautiful. It is horrifying. It is crazy.
Yeah.
It is great. But it is what Don Bluth like split off to make because he was like, no one's gonna make this.
Wow. I've
Um,
never seen that. I should watch
You've
that.
never
my
seen Secret of Nim?
gosh.
Oh,
No.
so we should do a series on.
should do an
we should
animation
yes, and we should definitely do an animation like movies that like are these for kids? With Secret of
Yeah.
Nim, Brave Little Toaster, and gosh
Night-
darn it, if we can track it down.
Coraline. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's horrifying.
It's a beautiful movie,
That-
but terrifying.
Also, Unico and the Island of Lost Toys, or something like that, is the most terrifying thing I've ever seen. It's this big doe-eyed unicorn, this adorable little. It's terrifying. I'll just show you clips. We can just. But anyway,
Have you seen Grave of the
Watership
Fireflies?
Down.
no, I've never seen any Miyazaki.
Me neither.
Yeah. Is Grave of the Fireflies
Thought you
not?
guys were film dudes.
Yeah, I know. We're finding out that we're not.
I
Steer it away.
But here's the thing.
haven't seen it. I haven't either.
I just want to say this about Aladdin. I remember watching it. And the moment that yeah, guys.
Please just say it.
So like you know, dum da da dum da da dum da da. Hey you, that is you. It's a bright new star. Oh, come as the first on your block to meet his eye. Dun, 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 dun. You're gonna love this guy.
You see the
Prince
feathers
Ali,
thing?
fabulous he, Ali Bob. But the moment that I was like, that I really truly fell in love with. I do. I want to sing all of those songs. I love them so much. I love them so
He's
much.
like, I'll just sing a little bit, just so you can remind you.
Yeah.
It's like, but I didn't get to the big new swell, so.
He just likes one line in the song he's about to tell
I
you.
just love it. I love it so much. I do. And then it's like, yeah.
What's the
We're in the
point?
mood to help you, dude. I just want to do all the voices. No, but here's the best thing. No, here's the best part. He goes, you got 75 golden cow. Don't they look lovely, June? At that moment, I was like, this movie is throwing humor at me as a child that I could conceivably not get.
Uh-huh.
Like, it's treating me like an adult.
Uh-huh.
Because of Robin Williams.
Yeah.
And I was like, and he goes, and like Purple Peacocks, he's got 20. Fabulous, Harry. I love the feathers. They're doing
Yeah.
Macy's Day Parade jokes.
Yeah.
They're doing references that I was
Right.
like, this is treating me like a mature. And I was like, it's not like I could not get that. A child could not get that.
Yeah.
And just kind of be like, why was that? Whatever. And I was like, thank you for respecting me that much. And it makes me love this movie and pay attention and like have complete faith that it's just going to be trying to like. It did not talk down to me, and I loved it for that.
Did
I
they
loved
even
it for
do
that.
like a Marlon Brando?
Oh, tons of stuff like that.
animation? Like
Yeah. Oh yeah.
like from like on the water, like something like early
One of them
Brando.
does.
I'm gonna be a
Well, it
contender?
does. It. I
You
mean,
say
it does.
that?
It does
Something like that,
Nicholson, and
yeah.
it does. He does like just like William F. Buckley. He does a William F. Buckley impression, which like whatever.
But
like
this all boils down to Robin Williams.
it all. But
Oh,
ad
yeah.
libs.
but like that changed it. They're like, oh, we can actually be like funny. Like we
Yeah.
can actually just throw stuff in that's like sharp and because of that they were able to make Emperor's New Groove, which is fantastic.
Oh, it's great.
It's so great.
That's a great movie.
David
I love
Spade
that one.
was the lead voice in a Disney movie.
It's great.
That's insane. It's
John
so great.
Goodman's great in it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hercules is I don't remember. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about Hercules.
Are there any Disney movies you do like animated movies that you do not like? That you're just like that was not a good movie. Let's throw in Pixar too, because I've got one for Pixar.
Brian hates cars.
Hey, you don't have to.
You know, I
you
don't like
have
Cars
to.
either.
I haven't really
I did
watched
not
the whole
like
thing.
A Good Dinosaur.
I didn't see that.
A lot of people
one.
didn't like that. That looked great. I mean, the
I
animation looked
remember
great.
some of the robot movies going to see that because I had cousins that were young and just
Cars
going
2
like,
blows.
tired of these things.
What robot movie?
There was more than one because there were always two companies making.
Oh, Robots. Yeah, there was a movie called Robots with Ewan McGregor, and there was another one.
Oh,
That had
I know
robots
what
in
you're
it.
talking about.
That's DreamWorks, though.
Yeah.
I like, dude. There was a long time. I'm not total. This is ridiculous to say in theory, but like Pixar, everyone was raving about Pixar, and I was like, I'm not connecting with them. I'm not connecting. Even Toy Story, I was like, okay, it's Brave Little Toaster again, and I like Brave Little Toaster better.
Which one are you talking about?
Toy Story. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And then I was like, even still like Wall-E, I was like,
Didn't like
Okay.
Wally. Didn't
I
like
liked
Wally.
Wall-E, but I did not get the insane. People are
Yeah.
like, "This is the pinnacle of Pixar's achievements," and I'm like, "No,
Do
it's
it,
not.
Scorp. Rock and
It's
roll.
not. I want to go back just real quick,
Land Before Time is fantastic.
but
It is.
Derek,
Lilo and Stitch, I did not like.
is very interesting because it goes.
Derek,
It's-
can you tell us more about working for Disney in college?
Yes,
And
dude.
why it ruined
Yeah.
your appreciation? What is way too much behind the curtain?
Oh man, yeah, I got to know that.
I gotta know just a little bit before
What
I
did
go.
you do for Disney? That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I just expand on that.
It does have a gorgeous soundtrack.
I
Mine-
haven't seen Lilo and Stitch.
Lilo and Stitch is very interesting. It goes into that. I think it was after Treasure Planet. Treasure Planet is like it's like an
think
action movie almost. I think Atlantis is too. I've never seen Journey to Atlantis or Return to Atlantis, whatever. Lilo and Stitch is like part adorable movie and then like aliens and like outer space crazy stuff. Like it's cool. It's like a James Cameron Disney movie. Those are all kind of like James
Yeah,
Cameron Disney
yeah,
movies.
yeah.
They're very interesting.
I don't like Lilo and Stitch because I don't like the character design of Stitch. I don't like, and when we went to the ride,
yeah.
and I just don't like the character. I don't like what they decided.
The ride
You
is
know
the
what I
frame,
love about the two of you
What?
is the polar opposite nature of it all. Because you are like gushing, like you have Jasmine just shooting out of your eyeballs, and you're
She's
like,
the best.
I
She's
don't
the best
even know if
Disney
I even
princess.
like movies.
Jasmine is the best Disney princess.
Not
though.
that I
We've
can
talked about
remember
this.
any of them.
When I'm awake, I don't even know if I like them.
So Soaring, I don't know because I've never been able to connect with Eastern animation. Now I haven't watched a whole lot of it, but I've never been able to connect with anime ever. And I
So
know
I'll say this: I watched Ninjas. I got a beginner's course. I was gifted Ninja Scroll.
I have
Akira,
Spirited Away down here downstairs. Someone gave it to me.
which
So
I
go
heard
ahead.
is great. Akira.
Akira?
I thought it was pronounced
Akira with the red
Akira.
motorcycle?
Yeah.
Oh, like
Tell me
probably.
if I'm wrong. I don't
It's
know.
probably in Japanese, probably
Yeah.
Akira. Sorry.
I think it is, and that's why I'm pronouncing it because I've seen it.
Because you're all right.
And
all right.
then, and then
I've seen. Yeah,
then-
I had a weird anyway.
and then what was the Grave of the Fireflies? And I saw those three back to back, and I was like, oh, I get it now.
Sure.
Because it's all, and Ninja Scroll's just badass. Like, it is a badass movie with some gorgeous, like, there's a whole scene
Yeah.
at the end that takes place in, like, a burning building, and it is gorgeous to look at. It's like this whole ninja fight in the burning building. It's fantastic.
Shut up, Pub.
But yeah, we should do Miyazaki because
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything,
All right.
and everybody's always like, "What?"
Yeah, we'll do that. I'm totally down for that. Absolutely. If you want to really give anime a chance, look at the real stuff, not just the stuff America chose to translate. Yeah, Akira. We had to, or else because we watched it. We were taught in film class, and the kids in the film class were like, "You haven't seen Akira?" And we're like, "No," and they put it on one day when we were like
great.
toward the end.
It's great.
It's insane because like I watched like
it's
part of
great.
it. I watched about like 20 minutes of it or 30, 40 minutes of it, and then had to leave. No, I watched like 20 minutes of it. Had to leave for about 40 minutes to do something else. Came back, and the story had changed completely. And I was like, wait a second. I thought we were street punks and there was a government
Yeah,
thing
it's
and
off
it's a
the
motorcycle.
rails.
And then I was like, now people are mutants? What
yeah, it's crazy, but
Yeah.
it's also and just the world building. It is fantastic.
Yeah.
I understood after I watched it. I was like, I get it. I understand why that's as influential as it is because it's like Blade Runner influential in terms of like what
absolutely.
it affected in terms
Absolutely.
of design and blah blah blah.
Used to watch Spirited Away every day when you were little. The girl that voices Chihiro and also voices Lilo from Lilo and Stitch and is the girl from The Ring.
What?
Crazy.
Wow.
So she's like, Ohana means family. Come join my family of TV ghosts.
Oh, Derek. So I went to college for a graphic design degree and got an internship doing pretty mundane stuff, but I was able to meet and talk with a few animators on a few occasions just to cooperate, just the cooperative nature of everything and seeing how business
Corporate?
like everything was ruined.
Oh, corporate. Oh.
Corporate, yeah.
I was like, cooperative sounds good.
I can't separate the art from the artist. Yeah, okay.
From Dusk Till
But
Dawn.
it's not like anybody was being like, it's not like all the animators that drew all the stuff you loved were just like crazy alcoholic assholes, were they? I kind of want them to be. That
I
would
was
make
like,
it better.
You
for
could tell me. From Dusk Till Dawn is the best can't tell where this is going story. And that's because it was half directed and written by Tarantino and half directed and written by Robert Rodriguez. And I found that after I watched it, and then my brain went, oh, I know exactly when it happens. I know exactly what part each person directed.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's the most.
Oh yeah. There's like an actual like you see it almost like within a shot. You're like, oh, we've switched.
Yeah. No, they were awesome, he says about the animators, I think. One more thing about anime.
Cool.
If anyone tells you you should watch Urotsukidoji, run. Whoever made those is messed up. Gotcha.
Cool.
Fun thing about Akira is the character of Akira isn't really in the movie because he's like already dead, but in the manga he's a central character.
Huh. Interesting.
When the werewolves, you mean, yeah, well, when they go to the vampire strip club. And, when it turns from a dialogue-heavy crime film to a vampire strip club, you know you've gone from Tarantino
I'll tell
to
you
Robert
exactly when
Rodriguez.
it happens. It is right after. It's when they enter the club.
Yeah.
And it's still being written by Tarantino all the way through Selma Hayek's amazing seductress dance.
And then is it
where
the
she
penis gun?
sticks
Yeah.
her foot in Tarantino's mouth, who wrote the script and is starring the movie. He's like, I'm going to write a scene, because I got a foot thing, where I'm going to write Selma Hayek sticking her foot in my mouth, because that's what I like to do. And he was like, cool. Is that going to stay in the movie? Great. Robert, take over. Because I don't give a shit after. You know what?
And
Kill
then,
me.
And then Rodriguez goes, "Sweet, you have a dick gun." It's true. It's definitely true.
It was like, what am I gonna bring to the table?
That literally-
okay, you got a dick gun.
Literally, but it's so iconic.
Here's the thing.
It pops open and it's got a barrel and two freaking.
I got to interview Robert Rodriguez,
Yeah.
and I was shocked at how I was like, oh, you're like a super duper smart guy.
Of course.
Like a
Of
highly
course.
intellectual
No,
person.
he's a
And
yeah.
I was just like, where is that?
No, he's-
In the
any
movies?
of your movies.
Well, yeah, you read his book and you're like, smart, that's smart.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a
And
genius.
yeah.
He's. I mean, like,
I mean, he built an empire in Austin.
and he
so,
built
I mean, he's
built
smart,
a
but-
whole
I just wish his
revolution essentially. I
I
mean,
know, but I just wish his movies were better.
He's
And
like,
I love
right,
I
he's-
Sin City, and I grew up on like. I still to this day think
I love Del
Desperado.
Soldado.
I love
think
Desperado. That's
is
the
his
only one
best
I love.
movie. Like
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
I mean this. I mean, and that whole bar fights. That is one of the best photographed gunfight
Oh, yeah.
scenes and choreographed gunfight scenes I've ever seen.
and the
in my life.
Soy un
Yeah,
hombre muy honrado
yeah.
y me gusta. I mean, it's great. So
Oh,
stylish. So stylish.
Desperado, we gotta do that.
Sure. We should do
I do
Rodriguez.
like that a lot.
Definitely. I've never seen The Faculty and desperately want to.
I don't think I have either.
Yeah. That's the one where I've always kind of been like, maybe that one's really good.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But the thing is that he's like, I mean, he's like Roger Corman. Like Roger Corman.
Well, I wouldn't say that bad. But...
What I'm saying is that like
Not that way. but-
Corman is like
But he is a very
revolutionary in
nice-
terms
yeah.
of whatever, and he also just
Oh,
makes schlocky stuff. And Rodriguez likes schlocky
He
stuff.
loves schlocky stuff. It's more. It's not that. It's like when he's like, I made this for my kids, and I'm like, that's cool, but like, just make it for your kids then, because I don't need to see Shark Boy and Lava Girl ever.
I think a lot of kids love those movies.
They don't. But I really do admire that guy, because like
Sure,
I
Cactus
really
Jack.
do view his like you don't need. He's like, you don't need anything. Just go make a movie.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need anything. You
Right.
don't need a crew.
he's
Just go
right.
fucking make a movie.
Absolutely.
And I really do.
And he was saying it before anyone else. Well, I mean, I don't know.
And I like that he continues to do everything
And he
himself.
continues to do it that way.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I would like
Yeah,
to
he's
do
a
that too.
composer.
I get that.
He's amazing. Can we take a minute to appreciate the superbness of Steve Buscemi's performance in the Wedding Center? Singer, yes.
Yes, we can. Right now.
Best singer in the
Everybody
world.
quiet?
Self-taught. Thanks for nothing. No lessons.
Full minutes of
Yeah.
silence. All right, I've got
You gotta go.
to go.
You gotta go.
I'm letting him borrow because I'm gonna want this
Oh,
back.
okay, guys, sorry. And before you leave, we cannot do it. But so he gave me this. Now we're in trouble. Now I gotta get my capture card fixed.
I
so we
had to
can
get
play
it out of my house because I can't stop playing.
I'm
it.
super excited. I want to play that game,
great.
and it's gonna be months after everyone else played it. But I love it. He walked in, and Dark Souls 3, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Because we just beaten Gale, which was awesome, and we're sitting at that bonfire in Gale's arena, and he's heard me. He walks in, and he goes, "Oh, is this that movie? Is this that game you hate?" And but he goes, "Oh, cause this.
Yeah.
This looks awesome." And I was like,
struck my eye.
Dark
"Uh-oh."
Souls?
Yeah.
Dark Souls.
Souls.
Yeah.
Let the record show my daughter, my wife. Well, that's weird. Let the record show that too.
Let's
Yeah,
do 2 minutes.
hold
for
on
that.
a second.
Let's just sit on that.
But let the record show my wife just called it Dark Scrolls.
I didn't say scrolls. I think I said skulls.
Oh.
I didn't.
Dark
I
Skulls
just
is even-
misspoke.
Yeah.
Jeff Souls.
I told you, right? I was like three comments later, someone's gonna say Jeff Souls word. I knew. I
Wow,
told you.
that's great.
I told you.
Let's I could be down for that. Is there a way that we could do it where I could just come early on a night?
And play. What we could do is, oh man.
Like I don't need to Jeep because like I don't know, maybe I'll hate it, guys. I don't know. But maybe like a half hour early or something where I can just dive in and see what's what.
Sure.
Because it looks cool.
See, and you might, because it is anathema to everything that I would ever
Yeah.
love in a video game. Like, I'm like, I don't dig the sword and sorcery aesthetic. I don't, whatever. There are moments that are beautiful. It's incredibly oppressively hard, but not immediately. That's the thing. It goes build, build, build,
Yeah,
build.
and then-
Guess what, motherfucker?
Yeah,
And you're like,
yeah.
oh gosh, and it's like, yeah, and it's just there are things about it, but man, because like you remember how last week he came over and I was like, I'm shaking because I'm so angry.
Yeah. He was like, I don't think I've ever seen him that mad.
Yeah, that's the thing is I don't get that mad.
He was very mad.
I don't get that
No,
mad.
he wasn't mad. He was filled with anger.
Yes.
There's a difference. He was filled
And
with anger.
trying
He
to
comes downstairs and goes, I'm trying not to be, because our daughter is there,
Yeah.
and he's like, I'm just
And she's like, why is Daddy so angry?
Daddy.
He's like, it's a
Daddy?
video game, child.
Yeah, that was after the last stream of where I was trying to get it in. I was like, oh, we got like an hour. I got to fight him. We're going to get him definitely way before an hour before Jeff shows up. And I was like, dang it, I didn't get it. Well, so this time I did it.
Yeah.
And that was last time.
He was in the best mood
I was so happy. And that's the thing. That's the thing with Dark Souls.
It's like a drug, man.
It is because if you do a thing in that game,
You feel like you earned it.
you go, you, and you go, you got him. It's the kind of game. It's the game where like if I'm running through a thing, because like eventually you get to the thing where you're just like I'm just running past everything. But if something hits me, I go, all right, we're gonna spend 30 minutes making sure that thing knows it's dead, and I'm gonna die again and come back and kill it.
So do you, is it because
But
like, sometimes I'll be
sometimes
games, like especially like violent games where like if it takes you a long time to kill something. And then you do that thing where you're like, well, it's a video game, so I'm going to kill it, like, extra hard, even though it's already dead. And
Yeah.
you do that thing where it's like a corpse on the ground,
Yeah.
you're, like, still shooting it.
So-
And then after a little bit, you're like, this is getting dark.
Well, the thing of Dark Souls, at least the first one and the third one, after you kill something, you can kick its body around. The ragdoll physics
more
just a
fun.
lot. Oh, I've had so much fun, so much fun. Like I've been killed by an incidental enemy and like really got mad. Like I was just like, oh no, and then go back and try to fight it and then die again. And go, why am I dying? Why am I dying to this? Why am I dying to this? Then I go and kill it and spend the next minute to minute and a half dragging it around and singing a song about how I murdered it and then throwing it off.
You're just singing like a whole new world, trying to calm yourself
yeah, I
down.
just go, hey, you mother. It's great. It's great. Anyway, it has been.
It's weird that you have a no cussing rule on a stream
That has
makes
been
you
broken a lot.
angrier than anything in the world.
Yeah.
You
I often
pair
go.
these two things
I
together.
often. It's such a weird thing because here's the thing. It taps into everything that I have in all my own personal issues with fear of failure, feeling like unfairness, feeling like the world is unfair, not understanding why something has to be the way it is.
And
'Cause
you're
I'm
like, well, let's just wrap that up in a video game,
Yeah,
and then I'm gonna play
absolutely.
that bad boy.
Red 7,
For
thank
a
you for the
living.
follow.
Just like constantly.
And I've told chat many times. I'm like, you've seen me more angry than anyone in my life besides my wife, and that always sounds scary because it sounds like But I'm just like, because like she's the only other person that I show that side to. That sounds bad. Where I know and trust her well enough to be
with
like,
the back of me hand.
goodness gracious, but yeah, the rules was harshly broken just before killing Gale, and also on my brother's stream, because I was like not cursing for anyway, or initially it was because I was a teacher, then it was because my daughter might see it, and for some reason my brain goes, she'll never watch.
Your daughter does not want to watch 1,000 hours of
Yeah.
you playing video
No one
games
does.
ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that why the rule was put in place?
Well, and also I just kind of like
Teacher.
it's a public thing. I always was like,
He was a teacher. And
Am I not
kids
supposed to
were
be swearing
fighting.
on this?
no,
Because
that's
I'm going
totally
to.
fine. Yeah, no, yeah, and I've done it too. Like before, I was like, like earlier.
Yeah.
Like I really went off. And then on my brother's stream last time, I went off real bad, real bad. Last couple times actually. But I was kind of like, it's a public thing, you know. And I was always like, you know, as an actor, if I was ever in a I would, you cultivate an image of not necessarily,
Sure.
yeah, whatever. And,
And
it
then
was
at the same time, they're saying that Lobo stream was the most foul-mouthed shit I've seen
I
in a
know.
long time.
yeah.
See, like, you are a very foul-mouthed person.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying, Scorp. That's what I'm saying. I know I am.
So you're just lying.
No, I'm not
The
lying.
persona
I'm
you
not
made
lying.
is
If
just such a
someone went on a talk
fucking
show, you wouldn't lie. You wouldn't swear. If I go to my
only because you're on network television. If it was a talk
But why?
show-
Those are
show-
people. If I go into a
because
Wendy's,
it
I try
can't
not to.
air.
Huh?
You go
Because it
into a
can't-
Wendy's and you don't swear?
She just walk in and go,
I go,
I want everyone here to know.
I want that fucking chili. Because Wendy's has chili.
Yeah.
I was like, chili, eh?
I know that because when I was a kid, I'd go to my dad's office during the summer when he was like, you can't stay home, so you got to come with me. And then be like, cool. So like my highlight of my day was going to Wendy's.
Yeah.
And he would always get the chili, and I'd be like, that's weird. And I would get a hamburger, and I would make fun of him because he would always get chili like every day. I was like, you're eating chili 5 days a week.
My dad would do that. He likes chili.
Cool.
Swear-
On that note.
I was really trying to work in, because you said swearing at Wendy's, and then I was going to try to work in your cunting daughter into a story about Wendy's.
Oh yeah, we didn't even address that.
Well, like I remember.
Your cunting daughter.
You know what she did?
Oh.
And I was like,
The Exorcist.
I was like,
what?
cunting? But then this time, I guess was too young, or I wasn't paying attention enough, and I was like, oh, it's what's his face, obviously, like it's the director. It's the director.
What do you mean?
It's the director. It's the director speaking. It's the demon speaking as the director, right? And he's saying, you know what she did? Your daughter killed me.
Oh, is it?
Yes, because, and I didn't notice it until this time, because earlier in the film he says it's his voice, which is why it's British. And earlier he says when he's calling him, he calls him when he's saying the guy's a Nazi, he's like, you're a cunting Hun. And it's such a strange. It's such a.
Wow.
It's him.
Oh,
it's
that's
it's
great.
when he goes, you know what she did? Your cunting daughter. She's talking about.
That's
she
Burke.
threw me. Yeah, it's Burke. He's like, she threw me out the window. She killed me.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I know.
Oh, cool.
Earlier you just kind of go, oh, you just wanted to throw the C word in there.
I
but
did.
it's,
That's what I thought.
but it's like, oh no, because that's a rare phrase. That's an odd
Yeah.
phrase, and the only person who says it in the movie is Burke earlier.
The sow is mine.
Yeah.
The sow is mine.
Oh, and that's one more thing. The reference to her as a sow.
Uh-huh.
And there's one more darn thing that I can't remember. And this was in the stuff where it was like one thing that she says when he speaks Latin to it, and he goes, "What's your name?" It says "Le pen de mon tante" or something, which means like the pen of my aunt, which is like a phrase that people learning Latin that just means nothing. It's like "Donde está la biblioteca?" You know. So basic,
Yeah.
and it's just a nonsense. The trivia thing was like it makes what could be what it might be considered a witticism, and it's like, what is your name? And it says it's the pen of my aunt, and then at that exact moment it goes ha ha ha, like this crazy laugh, but it's basically just going like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
My name is irrelevant.
Yeah.
And he's like, what they're speaking. He's like, it's basically he's like, we're speaking Latin. I'm asking you in your language, and he's like, what is your? And he's just like. This elementary
Doesn't matter,
Latin
yeah.
phrase
It doesn't
that
matter, buddy.
people teach. Yeah, it's just,
I'm inside.
it's very crazy.
Oh wow.
But then
This is you got all this through the Amazon.
well
trivia?
the cunting daughter. Now I've said it a lot. Easy Steezy, thank you for the follow. That I just noticed for the first time. I was like, oh, earlier
Yeah.
he said that, and I was like, I just always thought that was just like a nah.
That's great.
But that was in the trivia, and then the sow thing. There's another reference to it, but the sow thing is like, you know, pig, right? And the whole ending where he takes the demon into him and throws himself out a window is a reference to a biblical thing where there was a man, like Jesus came, they were like, this guy's possessed and can you get it out of him? And he told it was a bunch of demons, and it was like, that thing said it was like, it's the demon. It was like, we are legion. He's like, what is your name? It says, we are legion. And he's like, I command you to get out of this. They go into, it's so weird. You've heard the story?
I've seen it in
The Greatest Story?
Nazareth,
Yeah.
this-
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
what's it
Jesus of
called?
Nazareth.
Yeah, Jesus.
He casts them out. The demons go into a herd of pigs that then run off a cliff and die.
Whoa.
Which is very much what happens in The Exorcist.
Yeah.
And so there's another reference to it, I think somewhere, maybe in there's another reference to that pig thing, according to that. But the sow is mine is also a reference to that.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting.
Oh, that's great. All right. We
Why-
brought it all back.
Why is the language of hell Latin?
I mean, it's just, well, it's
It's just
not. It's just, I don't know. William Peter Blatty made it up, but it's also like it's the language of the church. So like it starts speaking Latin to him, and almost maybe as a mocking thing. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah,
That's
because
the
it's,
whole-
not,
Isn't
it's
it-
not even
isn't
the
Latin
language of the
feet?
Bible, because it's Aramaic. You know.
But isn't it the most Latin is the most ancient
Maybe I don't know.
form of language, right? Is that not true? Or the root
It's
of
like
all, that's
cuneiform,
the
root
all
of Romance languages. Yeah, like
It's
yeah.
all language. Yeah, I mean, not like Sanskrit.
The Bible is
and
Greek.
African language.
What movie for next week?
Okay,
Good
well-
question.
You
Guys?
need to really figure out what you're saying before you open your mouth.
For we are many.
Look, William Peter Blatty, wasn't he a
Big time Catholic.
yeah, and like a big time Catholic scholar, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Latin is not the oldest. I don't. Yeah. It's like
Yeah, I
it's-
didn't mean old.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just meant root, whatever.
But yeah, and his deal was. Oh yeah. Sorry.
To open up that can of worms. I didn't know there's been Latin scholars in this group.
Speaking about Latin.
But this is interesting. This is interesting. This is from Blatty. I
You
know.
got a text from
Yeah. You know what you should? He's like, stop it. You know what you did? You cunting. I'm like, come on, man. Your mother's like, no, she doesn't. I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to make a statement that the grave is not the end, that there is more to life than death, said Blatty in Bethesda, Maryland, diner near his home, blah, 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 blah. He not far from the Georgetown neighborhood described in The Exorcist, which he went to Georgetown College.
Right.
He was whatever. I've studied that. After studying the explicit details in the journals of exorcists, he decided that a story about what happens in these cases could really be a boost to the faith. It could show people that the spiritual world is real.
Yeah, he was pretty upset that this got deemed the scariest movie of all time.
Yeah.
He thought, I think the money helped.
Yeah.
But because this was like an insanely successful movie at the time of its release and continues to be, but he never viewed it as a horror movie.
No, yeah,
Never
nor
did.
does Friedkin. Yeah,
No.
they kind of agree on
And
that.
Frankly, nor do I, but it is terrifying.
Yeah, Friedkin called it apostolic. And said, but Blatty, it's just as important that his work had an impact on people in a radically different setting. As a Jesuit in Los Angeles once told him, there was a thundering herd of people headed into the confessionals at churches in the weeks after the movie opened. And apparently, there was something that said there was a gigantic rise in the priesthood, or in Christianity, a
Really?
giant rise in Christianity as a
then
response
good for
to.
him.
I mean, it's interesting, and it blew my mind.
Scare people into becoming.
Yeah, it blew my mind to hear that the first time, because I always figured The Exorcist was just like someone going like, this is the scariest thing to write about, but it blew my mind that it was meant to reaffirm faith.
And you feel it.
But it
in
makes
the whole
sense,
movie.
yeah,
You
yeah.
really do. Like, yeah.
If we don't watch Halloween next week, I'll be low-key disappointed. So Jeff is gonna be out of town next Sunday.
Yeah.
I may be out of town later in the like around Halloween and stuff for TwitchCon. I'm still not entirely sure, but I think I may be. We're gonna figure out a different day to do it. Possibly, you said you could maybe do it Monday.
Yes.
Okay. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about different possible movies. I think we may put it up to a vote, but we've got possibilities with The Thing, The Fly. Gosh, they're all great. Alien. Gosh, I really want to do Alien. Don't Look
And
Now.
Halloween.
And Halloween.
I almost feel like we should swap out Don't Look Now with Halloween.
Okay.
Because I feel like I want to do Halloween as well.
Okay.
So maybe that could be one.
Okay. We'll talk about it in the Discord. We'll put up some choices. Carrie. I've never seen Carrie.
Never seen Carrie.
That's a pretty good one, because I've not seen really. I've seen woefully few De Palma films, and I would be on board with that. Or The Omen. The Omen is interesting. The Omen's
It
cool.
was good. I
Yeah.
don't know if I want to do a whole episode on it.
Yeah. Link of Hyrule 32. Thank you for the follow. Anyway, we're gonna see Jeff off, guys. I'll be right back to either. We'll probably. I guess we can just raid somebody. Let's just raid somebody. You can head on down if you want or whatever. It'll
gotta
take me
get
a second.
going.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, dude.
Love you,
Thank
buddy.
you for this. Love you, man.
And I'm sorry, Akasha, for giving him that game.
Oh yeah.
But
Well,
it is
I go
what
up
it
here and
is.
play something so it's gonna really cheesy. It's not really cheesy. It's not really. I don't think it's really cheesy. It's.
We passed by the cupcakes.
I feel like it's
These are
comparable.
cupcakes.
I don't
Those
know.
are for-
Guys, thank you
Bye.
for
Bye,
yes,
Madeline. Bye.
guys.
That's for Belle because it's
Thank you
what it says
for
in the number books.
being here. Thank you for making this fun. Thank you for making this even more fun. I love doing this. I love doing this. I love that I get to do this and talk about movies with you guys and with Jeff and my wife. I appreciate it so much. It doesn't happen without you guys. Love you guys. Let's go get somebody. We will. Will you please join the Discord or check the Twitter? Not saying it for followers because, you know, one day I get to bring all my Twitter followers to some place and go, look at all the Twitter followers I have, and someone gets to slap me right in the face. Twitter is where we update stuff, but get in the Discord. We will, and on Twitter, we will, we'll maybe do a poll or something. We'll put up the possibilities, but we'll definitely tell you what we're watching next week as soon as we figure it out. Should have gone to sleep 4 hours ago. Well, thank you for being here, Sturman. Good to see you again, man. Let's raid somebody. Oh, let's raid Miss Bad Example. I don't even know what she's doing. Let's go get her. She's awesome. Your wife will wake you in 2 hours. Lots of love, guys. I'm so sorry, but thank you so much for being here. I love this. I love this every time. It's one of the most wonderful things I get to do. I love it so much. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.